Hello to everyone in the chat. I can see people saying hello. And let's get to a preview. Might as well do a preview first. So we have got AEW Interim World Title match. John Moxley taking on Roosh. So we've got that. We've got Bryan Danielson is back. So Bryan Danielson taking on Garcia. We've also got a handicap match. We've got Tony Nese and Sterling taking on Swerve. So Swerve in a handicap match against Nese and Sterling. We've got AEW World Title Thunder Rosa. Someone's having a joke here, by the way. Someone is having a joke, right? Do you know who Thunder Rosa is facing? Right? Yamashita? That's who she's facing. We've got Takashita, and now we've got Yamashita. Like someone's having a joke here. I'm not even lying. Straight up, right there. Look at this, Thunder Rosa. We've got another one. Thunder Rosa taking on. Well, when it won't focus. It can't focus. It's so flipping shocked. Yamashita. Right there, look at that. AEW Women's World Title. Thunder Rosa against Yamashita. I'm not a shitter. Yamashita. And we've got FTW title Starks against Danhausen. You might remember that was booked last week. We've got Dante Martin against Sammy. And we're also going to hear from Jungle Boy. So we've got all of that coming up tonight. Very much looking forward to seeing Yamashita. Don't you say language, Austin. That is a name. Yeah, what am I meant to do? I've got to read the name. I mean, granted, it might be pronounced a little bit different, but until I actually get introduced to Yamashita, I don't know how you pronounce it, do I? It's not my fault. Did you see the Big E interview? He was saying that he'll get checked in March. If it's really serious, he'll be forced to retire. He could have died from the injury. Oh, I didn't see that. I did see that he's got to go for another checkup next year and that it's not quite healing properly, but the fact it's not healing properly isn't like, career threatening or anything like that. It should still be okay. And he's going to be, the neck brace is off and all of that. But I think it's maybe not going as smooth as it could. So, yeah, thoughts with him at the moment. It's disappointing there's no Riddle versus Seth. I think we could have a high-rated match. Yeah, to be honest, I mean, it's big news. The bigger news, right, is that it's being reported that injury is kayfabe. So that injury is not a legit injury. Now, it doesn't change anything, right? The match isn't happening. But what I suppose it does do is it makes you question, why would you do that? Like, I suppose there's a big difference between the fight not happening because of an injury and the fight not happening because WWE have decided they don't want that match. I suppose there's a big difference, and apparently they don't want that match. It's going to get pushed back to Clash at the Castle. So that would suggest to me that they have got something else planned for Seth Rollins. I don't think it's either a time thing, but if it's a time thing, you would find a way, right? You would find a way. Of course you would find a way. You've been building towards this. You wouldn't just chop off Seth Rollins and Riddle. There's other matches that can be sacrificed. We don't need to be losing a Seth Rollins match. And it's a match that a lot of people are really excited for as well. In ring, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So for them to cut it, I think is very interesting because that suggests that they've got something else up their sleeve. I don't know what. And as I said in that little video, yes, people are going to start getting excited about the Fiend and Bray and all of that kind of stuff. I am very much at the point with all of that now where I am just going with the flow. I'm just going to put my hands up. I'm going to be straight up honest. I am going with the flow, right? Up until really when Vince left, I was quite vocal in saying, Fiend won't come back. Fiend won't come back. Fiend won't come back. Because I genuinely believed Fiend won't come back. Fiend won't come back. I thought there was a chance he would come back one day, but as I said before, like I felt something needed to change whilst Vince was there, I felt that was a big barrier. And I thought, if Bray goes off and does a film, and that film is really popular, and he's the talk of the town, all of a sudden, Vince will start going, oh, I like that. I can make some money there, or, and that might have, brought him back. But at the moment, I felt quite good that, Vince knew how popular the Fiend was when he let him go. It's not like Vince didn't know. He's got all the numbers in front of him. Yeah, he knows how much merch is being sold. He knows what the TV ratings are for the Fiend. He'll have Google search information. He'll have Twitter engagements. He'll have YouTube views. Like, he's not just, like, covering his eyes to these numbers. He will be aware as to how each superstar is performing on these kind of different criterias. And even with that information, he still decided that it was better to let him go and save the, $2.5 million a year, I think it was, something along those lines, rather than actually pay him. So this was my point all along. What has changed? Why now would he bring back the Fiend? Like, what has changed? And, this is the conversation we've been having for, a long, long time. And, will he be at the Rumble? Will he be at WrestleMania? Will he be here? Will he be there? Will he be at blah, 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 right? The conversation has remained. What has changed? Why would he come back now? But it has changed. The conversation has changed. I hold my hands up and say it has changed. Like, now that Vince is gone and is kind of out of the picture, yes, I understand. I've had a load of people getting in touch with me saying, you do realise Vince is still running the show. You do realise that he's still pulling the strings behind the scenes. And it's like, yes, to a degree, I believe that he is. But I think he now, because he's not actually there, and because he is having to, work from home, and, he's kind of out the picture. And to be honest, he's got other things on his mind as well at the moment. He's got a whole investigation that he's going to have to be answering to. I'm sure there's, constant rumors of other stories that are coming out. Like, the amount of stuff that he could be dealing with that we don't even know about, it could be a mountain of stuff. So I think that Steph and Triple H are going to have to make some decisions. The idea that Triple H can't bring in Johnny Gargano, maybe the Fiend is too big, right? Maybe the Fiend is a real big one. It's going to cost a couple of $1 million. You're going to need Vince on board for something like that because he is still, majority shareholder. So, maybe that one is a bit too big, but they are going to have freedom, definitely. Triple H will be able to get stuff done, and Steph will be able to get stuff done. And, well, for example, look, Triple H has gone in as head of creative. That feels to me like that's a Steph decision. That doesn't, because, if you look at how NXT was being run, I don't think Vince was over the moon with NXT. I don't think he was loving NXT. That's why it became NXT 2.0. A lot of the talent that was coming out of there were not really big guys. And so all of a sudden, Triple H is no longer in charge of NXT. And now, not only that, he's going out trying to recruit big guys. That was his job. Go out and find these football players that haven't quite made the grade, that are big, that we can bring into our company. That's what Triple H has been doing, the NIL program, Next in Line. So he's been off doing that. So it suggests to me that if Vince, it wasn't that crazy about Triple H and, what was happening down in NXT, how much input would Vince have with Triple H getting that creative job? Seriously, I don't have an answer to that, right? I'm not sure anyone does outside of, say, Steph, Vince, Triple H. But it feels like Steph being co-CEO, Steph being chairwoman, she needs someone that she can trust running creative. And it feels like she has played a big part in Triple H getting that job. So, because honestly, I think Vince would have given it to Bruce Pritchard. I think Vince would have given it to one of his guys. And Triple H is his son-in-law. I do accept that. But I just look at the fact of, well, he didn't keep him around NXT, did he? He took him away from NXT. And then they completely changed NXT. So he can't have been that happy. with what Triple H was doing. Otherwise, wouldn't they have kept it the same? So I think it's just an interesting thought that, now things have changed. And we absolutely could start to see some movement and things happen. But I do also agree, because I always think the truth lies somewhere in the middle. I do also agree that Vince is still very much involved. When Brock was the top guy, they were building up Roman from 2015 to 2019. Now, during Roman's reign, they haven't built up anyone else. Do you think that's wrong? I feel like they were about to build Cody. I think they were in the process of that. I think over on Raw, they've actually tried a few things. So I think they tried Drew, and I think it got so far, but it never got crazy. So I think they did try Drew during the pandemic, and maybe that was the problem, was the fans weren't around. And to be honest, when the fans came back, he wasn't getting crazy reactions, and I would imagine his segments weren't going crazy on YouTube, or the ratings for his segments weren't going crazy. But I think it's undeniable that they pulled the trigger on him. He won the Rumble. He beat Brock at WrestleMania 36. He then had that kind of all-right title run. I actually thought his title run was all right. I think he got a win over Bobby, obviously a feud with Randy Orton, and he held the belt for a little while, but I can't say that it was a rip-roaring success, and I feel like that was one that they tried and it didn't work. Then you can look at Bobby. I think they tried Bobby. I think they gave him MVP. They gave him the Hurt Business. I think they gave him the belt. I mean, he never had the belt before, and they gave him the belt. They've given him like new entrance music. He's got the pose and everything. So they tried that, and again, it didn't catch. It didn't get over. It wasn't really what people were looking for. And so, you've got to say they tried a few things, because I genuinely think they did. It's just that because they didn't work, it sort of feels like they haven't tried anything. It sort of comes across like they haven't really given it a good go. But I actually think they have tried. I think they have, and I don't think it worked. So, and now I think the latest one was Cody. I think they brought Cody in. He got debut at WrestleMania, or return at WrestleMania. ESPY moment of the year. Great matches with Seth. I mean, honestly, the best 3 matches in the history of WWE. I mean, I know a lot of people will say Rock Stone Cold, or they could say Undertaker Shawn, if you include, like, say, the 2 from WrestleMania, the one from Hell in a Cell. I mean, you have got the Rumble as well. They faced a few times, actually. But I think that sequence of matches in a row, in such a short space of time, like within the same year, and I just don't think there's better. I really don't. I think Cody, Seth, and even if you want to drop in Stone Cold Rock, I'll take Cody, Seth over that. I cannot think of a better trilogy of matches than Cody and Seth. And I think everything was pointing towards him winning Money in the Bank, main event in next year's WrestleMania. I mean, this injury is just heartbreaking for Cody, but hopefully he can come back and we can pick up where we left off. Anna said, Triple H just replied to Seth's tweet. He said, I hear you. Oh, very nice, Anna. Thank you very much. So we've got Triple H responding to Seth. So I do like this. I like the fact that it's playing out on social media. So, yeah. Triple H responds to Seth's tweet. Triple H, man. I mean, you didn't get that kind of stuff from Vince. He's using social media now. We're getting stuff playing out on social media, which I don't mind that at all. I don't mind that. If you didn't see the tweet from earlier, Seth Rollins said, for anyone who purchased the ticket to SummerSlam hoping to see me in action, I apologize. I did everything I could to the last 6 months to earn my spot on that show, but some things are just out of my control. Thank you for always singing my song. They will hear you someday. Which I actually thought was a really bizarre tweet for a heel to send. It's like a face tweet. That's the kind of tweet I would imagine Liv Morgan sending out. Do you know what I mean? I've worked really hard in the last 6 months. Thank you for your support. I just hope they hear you one day. Like, that's very Liv Morgan. It's not very Seth freaking Rollins. You know, surely Seth Rollins, in his finery, cackling away, dancing his... That guy would fancy a night off, in my opinion. That guy should be over the moon. So, do you know what that kind of says to me? It says to me that they've cancelled the match because of a kayfabe injury, and potentially, only potentially, but potentially not told Seth what the next plan is, and Seth's found out his match has been cancelled, maybe found out today, but they haven't had chance to, you know, give him a heads up and go, listen, we're cancelling this match, we're doing this instead. Because that's a weird tweet to send out from Seth Rollins. And if they wanted him to put some on social media, right, Seth could have said something like, I can't believe it, I've hit the jackpot, I've got this weekend off now, or something like that. Happy days, laugh, like, you know, and then a gif of him cackling away. Like, he could have tweeted that. And then you could have had Triple H say, not so fast. See you Friday. And it still would have, you still could have had this interaction, but it's just a weird way that they've done it. They've positioned Seth as a face on social media. Bizarre. Don't know why they've done that. I don't think it's a face turn or anything, but I do like this playing out on social media. It's exciting. Brenton said, shout out to you. Hope you are well. Yamashita, Maki Ito, and Zaki highlight Kenny Omega's influence for you right there. AEW Women's Division is his plaything to a large degree. What are your thoughts? Honestly, I don't even know how involved he is anymore. Because when they all started, I think the Bucks had like the tag division. I think Cody had the men's division, and with Tony, and then you had like Kenny doing the women's division. And I really don't know quite what their influence is now. So, I mean, look, yes, I think that Kenny has still got an influence, and he absolutely could be responsible for bringing in some of this talent. And who knows, some of this talent could be all right. I mean, Maki Ito wasn't to my taste. Rio wasn't really to my taste either, to be honest. But there are great Japanese women out there. Asuka, for example, who's amazing. So, or Kairi Sane was good. I enjoy Kairi Sane. And this girl could be good. I seriously don't know. So, I don't want to judge her until I have seen her. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't quite tell. Is it just a bad reflection on American and British and female wrestling that we can't find anyone from, do you know what I mean, the Western world? Like, where's the next Sashas? Where's the next Charlottes? Where's the next Baileys? And where's the next Becky Lynches? Like, where are these women? I mean, I'm sure they're out there. But we do tend to go over to Japan quite a bit and bring over, as you said, you know, the Maki Itos, the, what's her name again? Yamashita, and a few other people. So, I don't know. I can't really comment until I see her. But I would like to see more American women coming through. Where's those next Charlottes? Where's the next Sashas? Because I don't know, there's a few that are around, but I can't say that there's anyone that's... I'm really trying to think now. I mean, you've obviously got Britt Baker. I like Jamie Hayter. I think she's pretty good. And then you've got a load of people that used to be in WWE. And, I mean, there might be some that are on Dark and Elevation that maybe are coming through, but I can't... There's no one... seriously, there's no one that's grabbing my attention. So, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be a bit more focus on finding that talent. 'Cause it's out there. It's 100% out there. 100% out there. Daniel said, Yamashita put on... I know I keep saying that. I seriously don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know how you pronounce it. So until we actually get to watch it, I don't know what I'm meant to say, right? I'll call her Yama for now. Right, Yama put on a fantastic match against Rosa in Japan a few weeks back. It's by far Thunder's best match since her title reign, and Yama did beat her 2 weeks ago to set this match up. Karu Shida, I think, is the only AEW hit so far in form of Japanese talent. I heard Yama is good, so I won't judge just yet. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those whereby it doesn't make any difference to me as to what nationality they are. I mean, absolutely my favourite female wrestlers ever, Manami Toyota, Born Nakano. I love Asuka, of course. I think she is absolutely the best female wrestler WWE have ever had. So it doesn't make any difference to me if they're from Japan, if they're from Mexico, if they're from America, if they're from UK. I really don't care. But we do see quite a few Japanese women coming over. Like, you can go through quite a hearty list. And it does seem to be that talent just doesn't really seem to be that great. I mean, you need to go and get the best wherever it is. But I struggle to believe that the women that they've been showing us over the past 3 years in AEW, is that the best? Is that really the best? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think there's better women in America that you could find. I really do. Perhaps they're tied up. Perhaps they're tied up with, Impact, or perhaps they're tied up with that Women of Wrestling, or perhaps they're tied up with Pro Wrestling Eve or something. I don't know. I don't know where they are. Perhaps they're all been snapped up by WWE. But I don't know. Yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting point. But Jade could be the next Sasha. Yeah, she's really green though, isn't she? I mean, what I will say about Jade is she's got the look and she is constantly improving. But it just feels like she's very, very green. She feels to me like, say, when Becky first arrived in NXT, and maybe not even as good as that, because at least Becky had a lot of experience on the indie scene. And same with Bayley, same with Sasha. I don't think Jade's had any experience on the indie scene, because I think she used to be a female basketball player. So I don't think she's got that much experience. But do you know what? Credit to them though, because I'm sitting here saying, is that really the best? I'm just asking the question. Is that really the best that is out there? And who knows? Maybe it is. And maybe out of frustration, they're now doing what WWE do, finding those athletes that haven't quite made the grade in their other sports and then training them up in-house, which, you've got to do that sometimes if the talent pool is dry. And we have just been through a pandemic. So, unfortunately, I think there's been a lot of indie wrestlers that have walked away because, they weren't able to make money. They've had to go and get other jobs. And, you've got companies that have gone bust as a result. So I think it's sort of decimated the indie scene. And so, what was maybe slim pickings might have just got even slimmer. So maybe all of these things are playing a factor. But as I said, it's an interesting conversation. There was something that I wanted to read as well, because I was reading it just before we went over to the stream. I wonder if I can find it. Oh my God, there's so much news. Honestly, I mean, if I don't look at social media for an hour, it's just absolutely swamped, man. It's absolutely swamped. There was a quote from let's go Sean Ross Sapp. I think it's on Sean Ross Sapp's. There was a quote from CM Punk, apparently from San Diego Comic-Con. Here it is. Okay, speaking at San Diego Comic-Con via the Absolute Geek podcast, CM Punk gave his thoughts. Do you think, because he tweeted, "I'm retired," that he's not going to be hands-on? Punk said about Vince's retirement. Punk continued by saying, "I don't think the structure is there. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't think the culture changes at all. It just is what it is. I'll put it to you like this, and boy, people are going to get real effing mad about this, but F it, right? Mercedes, Sasha Banks, and Trinity, Naomi, they leave. They announced on SmackDown that gosh darn were so disappointed in them, they really let our fans down. But then Brock splits, comes back, obviously. I think he worked the show. But where was Michael Cole saying Brock Lesnar really let these fans down? I walked out. They went on TV and they called me a quitter. What's changed? What's the difference? You're going to attack these two poor women who had enough and they walked out. They've got bigger balls than anybody there. So what has changed? Nothing much has changed. There's people that talk about it and there's people that do it. The people who lick boots and have the audacity to say that about those two women, they're cowards and they're bootlickers. This stuff, and it's not stuff, but this Yamashita is ridiculous. Why didn't they do any of that for Brock? They did it for me. It's none of my business. He appears to have a small meltdown. I mean, I haven't actually seen him say it, but that does come across like a mini meltdown. Like, he's kind of like, oh man, people are going to get upset with me saying this. And then he goes on a bit of a rant. And then, like, he says, they did it for, they called the girls cowards and whatever. Unprofessional. They called me unprofessional. Why didn't they do it for Brock? And then he ends it with, it's none of my business. It's none of my business. So I thought that was very interesting. Spicy, isn't it? Spicy. It's all very spicy in wrestling in 2022. Right, the main news is Triple H saying, I hear you. If Sasha was released on June 10th, her 90 days would be up around the time of All Out or Grand Slam. Where would you debut her? We talked about her potential first AEW run before. First, if she's leaving, if she wants to go to AEW and it's all done and it's all signed, you just bring her in. You just bring her in. You don't wait because you run the risk of it getting spoiled. I mean, yes, you don't just do it on a Dynamite. You try and do it as soon as you can, though. I mean, I really wouldn't be setting it too far into the future. You need to make sure the music's right, the name's right, the look's right, and that you've got, like, first few feuds planned, but and, like, a bit of a story planned. But, listen, if you can get Sasha Banks, pretty much everything else gets dropped. I mean, if you can get Sasha Banks, I mean, you've already got CM Punk, you've already got Bryan Danielson. Yes, they're amazing and important, but the ratings are where the ratings are. And if you can get Sasha Banks, there is a real opportunity those ratings are going to move. Even if it's only for a short term, they're going to move. So your focus really goes onto that. So everything needs to be perfect. So you don't want it getting... You want to control the narrative. You want to make sure that, if you want to announce it and say she's going to be on, at Grand Slam, then, you need to make sure you're getting that message out at the right time and that everything's above board. Or do you want to do it as like a mystery opponent for, say, Britt Baker or something along those lines and get people speculating and talking and things along those lines? But again, if you do that, the dirt sheets will start looking into it because you're giving them something to look into. And so you do run the risk of it getting spoiled. But, I mean CM Punk got spoiled and still a hell of a moment. So, yeah, I to answer your question, I would do it as soon as I could at the next biggest show, whatever that might be. Because it would take me one night to get everything sorted that I would need to do, because I would not be doing anything else. I would be literally on the phone sorting music. I'd be sorting ring gears. I'd be sorting graphics. I would be looking at my creative, trying to figure out what my plans are going to be. And by the morning, I would have it sorted. It would either be finished or it would be in the process of getting done, whereby within 24 hours, I'd have everything in place so that I can bring her in as soon as possible. Big Time Baxter, shout out to you, said, did you hear Tony Khan busted open? He was amused by fans speculating with the change in management The competition means stars jump in ship. He said he's got Adam Cole under contract until 2027. Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say, though, is that this is not good news for him. It's not good news. He can put a brave face on it, but this is not good news for Tony Khan because all of a sudden now, WWE looks and feels like a much more attractive place to go. And if you were hoping to get Sasha, I think there's now a greater chance that she actually returns to WWE rather than go to AEW. So potentially that became a lot harder. If you wanted Johnny Gargano, I think that now has become a lot harder. So he's doing the right thing. He's putting a brave face on it. And he's like, laughing at the fans like, no one's going to leave us and all this kind of stuff. But undeniably, everything just got tougher for him. WWE is got a lot of intrigue now. People are going to want to know what's happening. People are going to want to be watching and seeing like what the changes are. So that's going to really help their viewership. And who knows, the product could be really exciting. It could then start to actually turn some fans that had lapsed to start having a little look over at WWE. Triple H booking on the main roster. If he is given the freedom, I mean, so much excitement on social media. If you don't get a chance to go on social media that much, there's a buzz. There's a different feeling. There's a feeling of what's going to happen. Normally on social media, it's just, everything sucks. Everything sucks. This sucks. That sucks. Do you see that over there? It sucks. Everything sucks on social media. But right now, there's honestly, you do have to look for it, but there's optimism. There's optimism. So there's optimism that's out there. So, I mean, that probably won't last long because you can't please all the people, right? So Triple H is on a bit of a loser because there is no form of wrestling that is going to please you, me, everyone in the chat, everyone on social media, the 5-year-olds, the 80-year-olds, the Cornette clan, like the lapsed AEW fans. There isn't a form of wrestling that's going to box all of that off. So you're not going to be able to please everyone. So, he's onto a bit of a loser, but they could put out a product much stronger than they have been. So, yeah, I think Tony makes a good point. I don't expect people to just now start leaving AEW because it's true they're under contract, but I do think things have got a lot trickier. Mitchell, shout out to you, my friend. Hope you are well. Really appreciate the support as always, bud. I hope you're having a great day. Mitchell said, "Thank you for the follow. You're welcome. I always try to follow people back." On Twitter. If I'm not, by the way, if I don't follow you on Twitter, I mean, I wouldn't message me on like Facebook or Instagram at the moment because I have never used those platforms. There are accounts, but I just never go on them. But I am now starting to because I'm back. I'm back full time in wrestling. I'm back, baby. We were doing a football channel, and it really was taking me away from wrestling. And there's just other stuff that's took me away from the channels, like, UFC, setting all that up, making new graphics and doing research and all those kind of things. And I still have to do a degree of that, but I've got so much more time for this now, this channel. So we are back. So I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at Facebook, I'm looking at Twitter. I'm doing lots of work on social media. So if you want me to follow you, let's just say Twitter for now, though. Let's say Twitter for now. If you want me to follow you, just drop me a message. I'll try and go down them, and I'll, can you follow me back? I'll follow you back, right? The only thing I'd say is if I don't get to you, don't take it personal. It's just I haven't had a chance to get to you. Just send me another one saying, can you follow me back, right? I will eventually see it, and I will eventually follow you back. So I'll do you that deal. So you are welcome, Mitchell. It seemed AEW was benefiting from Vince retiring, but now Trips has been announced. Does that change? Yes. It seems like WWE suddenly has got momentum. Yes. And AEW doesn't. Well, I don't know about AEW not having momentum. I think they've got, look, when Omega comes back, boom. When CM Punk comes back, boom. Tonight we've got, I think, the return of Bryan Danielson. That's what they've announced. So we're starting to see this top talent returning. That's going to be a good boost for them. And, we still don't know what's happening with MJF. So I feel like AEW is all right. It's maybe not in its strongest place it's been, but you've got to have peaks and troughs. Yeah, you can't just constantly have peaks. You've got to have ups and downs, and maybe it's just going through a bit of a rebuild after just coming out of Forbidden Door, coming out of Blood and Guts, coming out of Fyter Fest. That's a lot of stuff. I mean, on the horizon, we're not too far, I think, from Is It All Out and the Grand Slam stuff. So it feels like maybe at the moment we're just in a little dip as we're building to the next thing, but that's totally fine. But yeah, I completely agree that WWE has got crazy momentum right now. And it's very exciting that Triple H seemingly has cancelled Riddle against Seth Rollins because seemingly he's got a plan and there's something he wants to do. And there is a match that he wants to put on at SummerSlam that he thinks is going to please the masses. Now, I don't know who it is. He could have picked up the phone to Bray. Bray is the biggest name. Undeniably the biggest name that Triple H could go and get. You could use AJ Styles, but is that if we do an open challenge for Seth Rollins and AJ Styles answers it, I just think AJ lacks momentum, and I think people will be disappointed with that, which is such a shame because AJ Styles is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and he's currently not on the SummerSlam card. And you could go and get Edge back. We said about that. That would be all right. I think people would be quite pleased with seeing Edge. A lot of people have been saying Johnny Gargano. A lot of people have been saying, look, it's nothing for Triple H to call up Johnny and say, Johnny, I want you on the main roster. I'm going to debut at SummerSlam. Can we stop messing around now? And can you come back to work? Right? It's nothing for him to have that conversation. I like the idea. I said on Twitter, I was like, under Vince, it wouldn't happen. He's not going to debut an NXT guy, right, at SummerSlam. I mean, he might if it was like a massive name. But Johnny has been in NXT for a long time. He's well known to that fan base. But you got to remember, NXT is small. It's 3 times smaller than Raw, right? And it kind of feels like you would bring Johnny in on a Raw, build him up, and then do like pay-per-views. Bringing him into SummerSlam would be flipping huge. And I just can't see Vince doing that. But it's not Vince doing that, is it? It's Triple H doing that. So it could happen. That could happen. I think that would go down well. Johnny Gargano would go down very, very well. So Fiend would go down well. Johnny would go down well. AJ, sadly, I don't think would. People wouldn't boo him, but I think there would be a bit of I was hoping for someone else. And maybe Edge would get that as well, because I think we all know Edge is coming back. So maybe Edge would get that, but I think Johnny Fiend would be very popular picks. But it feels like we're getting Summer. He didn't have to take Riddle out of that match. So I agree, there is definite momentum with WWE. How does Tony think his wrestlers are satisfied wrestling 1 or 2 times a month? There's only 3 hours TV time and no house shows. That wrestlers want to wrestle more. I think, well, they do some house shows. I don't know how often they do the house shows, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a bit of frustration that's there. Brian Cage comes to mind, for example. Big Swole, of course, walking out. There's a few, or her contract expiring. There's a few that have been, made some noises. I didn't even realise Sonny Kiss was still under contract. But Sonny Kiss apparently is still under contract as well. But it's hard. I mean, look, it's not easy. It's not easy. He has to do what is best for business, and that's what Vince has always done. Vince has always done what's best for business, and you know, in the business world, yes, you can try and help people and cater to people and do the best you can and whatever, but at the end of the day, you've got to do what's right for you. If running a load of house shows that aren't going to make you money doesn't work for the business, well then you don't do it, do you? So I can't criticize Tony for that. He would love more TV time. He's currently got what he's got. So he's got the TV time he's got. He can't do much about that. He is adding extra shows on YouTube, but you know, it's YouTube. And in regards to house shows, as I said, like they are doing some, but there's no point running them for the sake of running them. And losing money and everything. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't criticize him for it. I mean, what you can say is that the roster is too big. But again, can you criticize him for that? Because he is constantly just looking to bring in the best available talent. The end result is it bloats the roster because you're constantly bringing in great talent. So that talent that used to be great or used to be the best you had is no longer good enough now to even get on TV. Well, there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, what you would have to be passing up opportunities, and if you're a growing company, you need to take every opportunity you can. So, I don't know. It's not something I can criticize him on. It's business. It's business. If we were to sit here and go through everything that Vince has done, how does Vince think this is a good idea? How does Vince think that's a good idea? We would literally be sat here for like the next 20 years, just talking about all these mental things that he's done. United We Love said, if the Fiend was to return in kayfabe, who are the 3 wrestlers he would have the biggest motivation to attack? Ooh, that's a really... Do you know what? I'm going to jot that down. That's a really interesting... That's an interesting one. I'm going to need to think about that one. 3 people that he would want to attack. Well, my first one that comes to mind would be Randy Orton, because it doesn't feel like that got closure. So Randy Orton would definitely come to mind. I think I've said this before, and I understand that people would not be crazy about it, but Chad Gable, right? Now, Chad Gable was part of American Alpha, and American Alpha beat the Wyatt family. And if you actually go back in the history of the Wyatt family, it's a significant loss, because I think I'm right in saying that it's that loss that really saw the split start to arrive in the Wyatt family. And you could really look back at that, because the Fiend character seemed to be trying to get revenge for the wrongs of the past. There seemed to be a bit of a connection there. And I think someone that's responsible for splitting up the Wyatt family has to be targeted. And that is Chad Gable. Now, the problem you've got is that Chad Gable isn't really a big star. And so the Fiend going after him, I think, would be a little bit disappointing. But you have got Otis, and there is a lot of potential with Otis. And you could do an Otis against Fiend kind of feud. So, the Fiend could go after Chad Gable. Otis could be standing up for Chad Gable. And, it could lead to some kind of match. I don't want to say a handicap match. I mean, I don't want to say that because I think that would be selling the American Alpha a bit short. So maybe it just ultimately builds to Otis against the Fiend, which you could do something really fun with. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could do something really interesting there. Because I think Otis has just completely fallen off. But he used to be really over. So, it'd be a great opportunity to kind of revitalize Otis. But that's not it's not a feud that I would go to, like, first. Like, it's nowhere near a priority. But I think there's a great backstory to it. And the one thing, like, I know about Fiend fans is they love that history. They love the history. They love digging into things. They love, like, trying to uncover, like, the Easter eggs and all of that. And this, it's got a very rich history, and I think you could do quite a lot with it. So I'm not against it, but as I said, I wouldn't rush to do it. So you've got that one. But who do you think is... I was just looking to see if anyone else had one. No. I'm playing this game on my own. Mitchell said, I think Bray going after Alexa, getting his powers back would help Bray and Alexa. It's a good shout. The only thing I would say is she doesn't seem to be showing those powers anymore. Like, if she was still running around with Alexa's playground and all of that, then 100%. But she seems to have, like, just moved on from it. So, like, you could have... He was betrayed by her. So, you could definitely do something there. But the fact that she's a woman and small, and he's a guy and he's big, is obviously a barrier and a problem. But also the fact that she's just completely moved on is also a bit of a problem. But there would need to be something there, because that feels like it's very much unfinished business. So it's a really good shout. Bray should go after Roman and take the title, says Connor. If we do, what do you think is going to win out of Starks or Danhausen? Starks, I think. What about Roman? Didn't he call him a freak in a mask? Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's, like... I mean, it's just... Is there a better reason than that? Is there anything that's more... Don't think so. I'm trying to think. I mean, you could probably find something, because we did get Wyatt family against... the Shield. So I'm sure you could go right back and find something. I mean, that's the great thing. If you've got someone that's been around for a while, there's a good chance they had a run-in with Bray. You know, someone will have eliminated Bray from the Rumble. And so, you know, he can look to avenge that. If you have a look and see who eliminated Bray from the Rumbles, you could tell that story. Randy is the big one, of course he is. Alexa I like, but I just think booking-wise that would be difficult. And Roman, I don't know. I mean, Roman's got the belts. He is the tribal chief. That's probably the money match for Bray fans. But, yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. I feel like if I proper look into it, there's probably someone that really did wrong Bray, that gave him, like, a real significant loss when he was, like, cult leader. But trying to think of who that person is and if they're still with the company, because I'm coming up with names like, you know, Undertaker. People would love to have seen Bray against Undertaker, but you obviously can't do that match now because Undertaker's retired. And there's a few people that have gone over to AEW that, you know, he could have done something with, but they're not in the company anymore. So, yeah, it's tricky. Why are you a mark for Bray? You overrate him so much. Who are you talking to? Don't want to do Bray Roman early if Bray comes back, says Bonkers. Brenton said, thoughts on Tony Khan wanting Ring of Honor to have TV deal under Discovery? It makes sense. They could potentially solve the bloated roster that you mentioned. Yep, I've got no problem with that. No problem with that at all. I think they should look to try and get it onto TV because it gives them, as you said, you know, more time to actually, like, you know, give to that roster. The only thing I was just thinking then, though, if they say do an hour of Ring of Honor, you could then do like a dark hour that gets shown on YouTube. So you could do Ring of Honor Dark just before, and then you've got, you know, Ring of Honor that's on TV. And Ring of Honor that's on TV is, you know, names and that talent that is deemed good enough. Like, you know, it's kind of the talent that is the best from Elevation and AEW Dark. Those are the ones that make it into, like, Ring of Honor. And then, you know, you've got Ring of Honor Dark, which it'd be a really good place, like, for your developmental. Because in my mind, Ring of Honor is going to be like a developmental. It's like the promotion you go to learn to get ready for AEW. So I don't mind it being on TV, but I think you do have a problem if, like, your green talent that's trying to learn how to have matches and wrestle is having to do it on network TV. Like, we're seeing the struggles, and we've seen the struggles that NXT 2.0 has had, because they've had a load of new green talent that's on TV that's, in my opinion, has struggled. Alexis said, in all this madness, I wonder who snitched on McMahon. Stone Cold, it was me all along. Mitchell said, what about Bray just coming back and being mad at Vince to add some TV14 realism? No Fiend, just Bray being a badass and Trips has to calm him down. I'd love it. I would love that. I really would. I think that Bray coming back and being like upset at how he was treated and upset at like the mismanagement and all of that, I think that realism would be some of the most engaging, intriguing stuff that Bray could come back and do. There's a lot of people that would want The Fiend to come back and just carry on where he left off. But I think that he's been through so much. Don't forget, The Fiend was a reaction to the mismanagement of Bray when he was cult leader Bray, and, the losses that he suffered, the fact he was told he was overweight. Like, it was kind of Bray holding up a mirror to himself and his past. And that's kind of what The Fiend and the Funhouse was, because the puppets were named after, parts of his history, and, everyone knows all this. Well, what do you do now? Because there's been something else massive that's happened that you kind of need to hold a mirror up to. And you could do that with the Fiend character, but I don't know, I really like that. I like the idea of him coming back, like, vengeful, angry, and wanting to get like revenge on management, the way he was treated, and you could do something interesting there as well. There's, I think, lots of interesting things you can do with Bray. Almost time. It is. Fiend should have never gone after championships, says Switchblade. It was dumb. He wants to destroy WWE, so why have him go after belts? Everything went downhill when he went after championships. I think it's because the fans want him to be the biggest and the best. If you're a Fiend fan, you want him to be regarded as the greatest superstar of all time. And one of the ways that is done is by championships, number of title reigns, how long they held the belts for. The belt is always seen, rightfully so, as being put on the person that's the best. Now, Undertaker was able to kind of avoid the belt for a large part of his career. I mean, he doesn't actually have all that many title reigns, considering he's one of the greatest superstars of all time. But he did get the belt, and he did have it, and he did hold it multiple times throughout his career. So I can understand why, it's like a magnet, like the fans are willing him towards, And if you think everything's set up towards getting people to belts, like if you win the Royal Rumble, it's to get you to a title opportunity. If you win Elimination Chamber, it's to get you to a title opportunity. If you win Money in the Bank, it's to get you to a title opportunity. Everything, like, pushes you to a belt. Like, it's hard to partake in an Elimination Chamber, a Royal Rumble, a Money in the Bank, whatever it might be, number one contenders matches, all of that stuff, and kind of stay away from the title. It's a hard thing to do because there's so many things that are designed to push you towards it. Like, even management, like Adam Pearce is like trying to find the next challenger for the title, and so they'll set up, number one contender matches. And how do you get Bray and the Fiend not being a part of those? Because if you don't include him, the fans will ask, well, why aren't you the best? Why aren't you including the best? Surely the title goes on the best. So you've got to include him, but then if you don't want him to win it, how are you going to get him out of it? And it becomes a bit of a nightmare. It's quite difficult to keep them away from the title. It's like a magnet. Everything's forcing them towards it. So I do understand as to why it went that way, but I also agree. I do agree. I don't think that it was something that the Fiend really needed. I think he should have had a run. But it didn't need to come as early as it did, because I think, for me, he was working his way down a list, and he was ticking off facing people, and it didn't feel like that list had completed. You know, he has a few feuds, but it's not like he has loads. And it felt like there was more victims to come. So, and then, yeah, you're right, the title kind of, came along. So I don't disagree that he didn't need it at that time. But the fans are always going to will him towards it, aren't they? Brenton said, pure hypothetical, but what happens first? Charlotte to AEW or MJF to WWE? I don't think it's that easy a pick, considering Andrade is in AEW. Spouses seem to follow each other in wrestling. It depends when contracts are up. So I'm not expecting MJF to move until 2024, and I don't know when Charlotte's contract is up, but WWE will pay her significantly to ensure that she does not go to AEW. She's got like all the power in her hands, and if she wants to go, she can go. But I think the money will be significant enough to keep her in WWE, because they know that she would turn heads. And she's got that Flair name as well, which plays really well to that crowd, because they're all about the history of wrestling, and they're all about like the in-ring. Well, the daughter of arguably the greatest pro wrestler of all time is going to be of interest to AEW. So she is just guaranteed to just be raking it in, man. So I'll say MJF. I'll say MJF in 2024, because I think that it is, and not just because of the story they're doing at the moment, but I think that he does want to go and compete at WrestleMania. I think that growing up, he watched WWE. And again, just like we said, how the title is a bit of a magnet to superstars. I think this is going to be a bit of a magnet to talent that haven't been there. It's a magnet for Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano wants to go to WWE because he wants to compete at WrestleMania. We know he could have come out and said, no, I'm done. I'm going to go elsewhere. But he hasn't. He's come out and said that he's still got dreams and desires of competing at WrestleMania. So Johnny wants to go there. I would imagine MJF wants to go there as well. So I'll say it's more likely MJF in 2024. Okay, here we go then. We are underway. It's the Interim World Championship match. So it's going to be Moxley versus Roosh. Moxley versus Roosh. JR already. JR early doors, yes. Early doors. Here comes Roosh. Nottingham Forest's away kit is going to be yellow and sky blue. Okay. Doesn't sound great, but... Roosh 1-0 in AEW, making his way down to the ring. AEW have yet to sign a new big money TV deal, but is locking up guys like Cole and Malachi for 5-6 year deals. Tony has got these guys through most of their prime. No one is going to get out of that contract. How long before they fight on the floor, says Lone Star Friend. It's a good question. I would imagine very, very soon. So Roosh has made his way down. Switchblade said, Yamashita is one of the best female wrestlers I've seen. She will kill it tonight. I know she won't win a world title, but I hope she does. But I can't wait for it. Only Nate, shout out to you, my friend. I hope you are well. Coach Co said the fingerprints of a koala are so indistinguishable from humans that they have, on occasion, been confused at a crime scene. Maybe they did it. Didn't think about that, did you? Maybe they did it. Maybe they were flipping guilty. Here is Moxley in the crowds. Do you think Hook will intervene? Yeah, I think he will. Stephanie, I can see Hook getting involved probably in the Danhausen one. They seem to be connected. Tony is worried, said Lister Jericho. Water effects on camera. Moxley is a wizard. Rouge had a killer match at DBD. Yeah, I didn't see Death Before Dishonor, but I heard the tag match once again was a fantastic match. I saw a review online where someone gave it a plus. It's like 6 pluses. They couldn't have praised it any higher. They were just saying it's one of the greatest tag matches of all time. Forged in Combat, Jon Moxley is here. Larry is here as well, never fear. Larry is here. Will you do a review of SummerSlam like you did Money in the Bank at Airflow Games? Yes, I do want to. I will be watching the show. We can't do the watch-along because it's on at the same time as UFC, but there is a watch-along for SummerSlam that we're doing on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. So there is still a watch-along that's happening. It's on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel, exactly like Money in the Bank. And I will look to do a post-show because I will be watching UFC, but of course I'll know the results. I'll still have SummerSlam on. If there's any kind of big shocking moments, not only will I, see them, but Money in the Bank, I had everyone jumping in telling me what was happening anyway, so I won't be able to avoid anything that's going down. But as I said, I'll be able to see it anyway. Do you think guys like Adam Cole are hearing Triple H and thinking I need to wait till 2027 and then potentially headline WrestleMania? No, to be honest. I think 2027 is so far away that they are not going to be thinking along those lines. If I was unhappy in AEW over the next 5 years, I would just need to find a way out of that contract. I mean, Tony is a reasonable person. I think in a couple of years' time, if Adam Cole is unhappy and wants to go to WWE, there must be a way out of that contract. I can't imagine there isn't. I can't imagine that there's nothing that can be done, and that he's just got to suffer for the next 5 years. We've got Blood early doors. No, not a fan of that. He's got Moxley bleeding. He gets the blood and then he licks it. It's a bit intense for the first 6 minutes, isn't it? Moxley thrown into the railing. Blood already, said Lone Star Friend. Stephanie said, who do you think Hook will help, Danhausen or Ricky? I'm thinking Danhausen. That's what I'm thinking. Rusha's got a chair and he tries to smash it into the leg of Jon Moxley. Headbutt coming in there by Rush. Seth not going to SummerSlam. Nah, he will. He sent a tweet out and saying, one day I hope they hear you and all this. Well, it's such a weird tweet to send out. I still can't get my head around it. But Triple H said, I hear you. And so something will be done. Moxley walks into an ER room and the doctor would say, get out. Only Nate said, I'm hoping for a Shield reunion. Is Triple T hosting SummerSlam? He is. Yep. It's gonna be fun. So many people got in touch saying they enjoyed the Money in the Bank one, and I think for a channel that's got, 3,000 subs, and that Money in the Bank stream did 14,000 views. Honestly, you can't emphasize how great a success that was. It was a big success. Not only from a views point of view, but from a feedback point of view as well. So I'm really excited to see what SummerSlam can do over there, and hopefully you guys obviously enjoy it just as much, and of course you will. Triple T won't allow anything else. Of course you're going to enjoy it. We've got Moxley up in the corner. Roosh is currently down and Moxley walking away. September 3rd, Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, and All Out on Sunday. Are you watching both that weekend or UFC? It could be UFC again. It could be that this could be the future. This could be what we do now. We do the UFC shows on this channel, and we do the wrestling watch-alongs on the Wrestling Escape Pod. Lance said, I don't understand AEW's count-out rule. Someone please explain. Well, I mean, look, you count to 10. I mean, that's the count-out rule, but they are not eager to see matches end in count-out, so the ref will get a bit distracted, or, you know, he'll start counting, or then he'll be like, come on, guys, just bring it back in. I don't want to have to tell you again, yeah? Come on. 3, 4... No, guys, look, listen, you need to... I'm being serious now. I am going to count to 10. 5... don't make me count 6, guys. Don't make me count 6, and he'll do that until they get back in the ring. We're going to commercial break. They are on the outside at the moment. Big chop coming in. He shouts... He's getting... I think he got up to about 8 there. Why even bother counting, says Brent. This guy makes everything look fake. He sucks, says Jonathan. Who are we talking about? Roosh. Got Moxley down in middle of the ring. We're at picture-in-picture at the moment. I mean, wrestlers being signed to 5-year deals from a wrestling owner, it's beneficial to keep, but for a wrestler, they have to wait a long time to renegotiate for more money. Yeah, the deal is the deal, though, isn't it? I mean, it's the same as in sport, football, and all of that. Like, it's no different. Roosh ran over, looked like he was going to deliver a drop kick, stopped just short, and then just gave a little kick instead. And now he's laid down in the ring. He's got a big smile on his face. Still to come, we got Ricky Starks and Danhausen. I don't like AEW, but I like watching because of Days doing it. Jaden, shout out to you, buddy. I appreciate the kind words. Okay, we've got Roosh going over to the corner. Got a handicap match. Keith Lee barred from ringside. Thunder Rose taking on Yama. Bryan Danielson coming back. Danielson's comeback match. Forearm strike there by Roosh. Chop coming in by Moxley. Another chop coming back by Roosh as Moxley rolls out the ring. Send this guy to Dark. He's not ready for Dynamite, says Jonathan. Who has worse matches, Moxley or Jericho? Well, I would say Jericho right now, just because Moxley is in Blackpool Combat Club and their matches tend to be good. But if we're talking singles matches, I'd still say Jericho. It's not a rumor. The NXT pay-per-view is going to be on the same day as All Out. Mm-hmm. Duke Nukem said, am I the only one who doesn't like Jungle Boy? Why don't you like Jungle Boy? Duke Nukem. Bonzo said, if Roosh teamed... It's gone. It's gone. We'll never know. We'll never know what that was. Brent said, I'm a Danhausen. It'll be interesting to see if Hook is involved and where he sides. Where has Pac been? Didn't he win a title not that long ago? Where is Pac, actually? That's a really good question. It's a good question. I actually don't know. Pac AEW. Let's click on news. Pac defends All Atlantic title on Dark. During this week's episode of AEW Dark, Pac retained the AEW All-Atlantic title against LJ Cleary. Pac became the champion at Forbidden Door. So there we go. He's living his best life on Dark. Chops coming in by Roosh. We're 13 minutes into the show. Hook will save Danhausen, said Jeremy, but MK said Hook is going to turn on Danhausen. Pac's been defending the belt in overseas promotions, says Adam. David said Pac's in England. He was on Dark last night. Pac defended in Ireland, says Jeremy. Delmar said, how soon before Andrade asks for his release in hopes to return into the arms of Triple H? I think it really depends on how they're being booked, and you can ask for your release, but it doesn't mean it's going to get granted. So I don't know. It's going to be. Look, it's so interesting, so interesting at the moment. I mean, I do agree with Tony. I mean, Tony can't afford to be giving out releases as well. If people come to him asking for a release, Tony has got to turn around and say no, because if he does say yes, I mean, it's just going to potentially open floodgates. So he's going to have to kind of stand his ground on it as well. Moxley back in control right now. Stomping away on the head of Roosh. Roosh is down and absolutely out at the moment. Going over, he grabs him. Picks him up. He gets driven back into the corner. He was kind of looking for something there, but... Ugh. Belly to belly into the corner there by Roosh. That looked moody, man. William Regal said he's really impressed with Roosh. He said, I should be cheering for Jon Moxley, and I am, but I'm really impressed with his opponent tonight. Roosh is on the middle rope, is looking for a superplex, but Moxley is biting the face of Roosh. Roosh goes down. Moxley. Oh, here's Andrade. Andrade pushes Moxley. Andrade trying to get Roosh into this one. Moxley is down. Now we've got loads of people coming down. So now it's turning into one of them where we've got Penta, Phoenix. Here comes the circus, says Brent. Bro! I saw a super chat earlier asking who you thought snitched on Vince. You didn't answer. Do you think the family got tired of him? Do you think it was Nick Khan? No, I don't think it was any of them. I actually answered it the other day. Someone asked me the question, and I was like, the reason that people say family or Nick Khan is because they're the only people that people know. If you was to ask people if they can name who is on the board, there's a good chunk of people that won't be able to do it. They won't be able to say who the names of the people that are on, the board of directors. There's a lot of people that are on those boards that are just, executives that are going to be privy to this information. But of course, everyone's like, do you think it was Steph? Do you think it was Nick Khan? But they can only say that because they're the only names that the public know. So I don't believe it was the family. No, I don't believe it was the family. I personally don't believe it was Nick Khan either. I mean, I can't prove that it wasn't Nick Khan, but I don't think it was Nick Khan. Nick Khan, I think, has come in and has negotiated a load of big deals. I think that he has already risen up through the ranks, and I just think it was more than likely another person on the board. 1, 2, kick out by Roosh. Moxley is a pretty good champion, said Brent. Interesting defenses so far, I feel. Hello, Wrestle with Andy. Shout out to you, buds. I didn't see what your comment said. I think it was something to do with Umjuff. Do you think we'll hear from Umjuff soon? It's almost been 2 months. Moxley gets the win. Do I think we'll hear from MJF soon? Do you know what? I'm just really flipping torn on it because part of me thinks like you need to wait for all of this Vince stuff to die down because if you do anything right now, it's just getting overshadowed. It's just such a shame that all of this has happened at the exact same time. So part of me thinks get the Vince stuff out the way, let some of this stuff settle down. I mean, if he's gone now, fast forward, say, another month, Triple H would have been in for a little while. You know, it might be calmer waters, and then you might be able to reintroduce MJF and do something. And in all fairness, you know, is 2 months much more different to 3 months? Like, I think I would wait. Here's Jericho Appreciation Society. AEW Galaxy. Appreciate us. Wonder where he got that from. AEW Galaxy, appreciate us. So we're hearing from Jericho here. Jericho talking to Moxley. Pac has defended his All-Atlantic Championship in England. He defended the belt at Rev Pro, and it was shown on Dark. The match you said in Ireland was also shown on Dark. UFC Fight Night is from Paris, France on Sunday, September 4th. So we're seeing Anna Jay. Anna Jay in with Jericho Appreciation Society right now. I'm a new Anna Jay. Anna J-A-S. She's Anna Jass. Anna Jass. Anna Jass. Anna Jass. She's threatening to choke everyone out. Jericho said that's the kind of intensity that I had last week. Anna Jay is just not good, is she? I mean, that was a bad promo from her. I'll choke you out. I'll choke you out. I'll choke you. I'll choke you all out. Ah! Eddie Kingston chants breaking out from the crowds. Mitchell said, do you think Moxley bleeds this easily in real life? Like maybe he goes to make some coffee and blades himself, or changes a diaper, or uncuts himself. Maybe. Perhaps he's always done that and he thought to himself, I should take up wrestling. This would be really good in wrestling. Did he say in 2 weeks it's Quake by the Lake? Is that what we've got? We've got Quake by the Lake. Quake by the Lake. In my mind, that is me sat by a lake playing the game Quake. I've literally got a handheld device and I'm just playing Quake. That's what Quake by the Lake makes me think. Quake by the lake. I can't get over it. Have we run out of every other rhyme? Is there like no other rhymes that were possible? John Moxley said, I used to look up to you, and I believe in your own way, you could still be the greatest of all time. Quake by the Lake sounds fake. WWE announced earlier today WrestleMania 40 on Saturday, April 6th and April 7th, the two-day event, making a major anniversary for WWE, will be held in Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Hot crowd in Philadelphia. That'll be good. You telling me they're not doing WrestleMania 40 at Quake by the Lake? I don't want the Wizards. I want the guy from Super Jacob. I want the Lionheart. It's good for Moxley, actually. I really like that promo. He said, I don't want none of this nonsense. I want the Lionheart. I want John Moxley against the last survivor of the dungeon. That was a great promo. That makes me... I want to see that match. That is what a good promo should do. It should make you want to see the match, and I want to see that match. It's great. He wants the Lionheart, Chris Jericho. Great. Lionheart is about 20 years too late for that one. I saw Take That Wrestling should have an off-season. What do you think about that, says Jaden. I don't think it's needed, to be honest. I think that wrestlers could have time away, so they could run a certain schedule whereby, you know, maybe they get a few weeks off, kind of month off here, there. But I don't think we need like wrestling to like shut down necessarily. I mean, the one thing that would be good about that is that you can really take time to just really focus on and plan what you're going to be doing, like, and really get a much better structure in place. But the problem is with wrestling, you get injuries, you get wellness violations. You get so many things that disrupt those plans anyway, that you could spend your time putting those plans in place. There's no guarantee that what you end up with is actually the plan that you've got written down anyway. So, I mean, the wrestlers getting a chance to heal up, I think there definitely could be an argument for them having more time to do that and getting that time to recover. But I think we've actually moved in that direction just naturally. I mean, house shows are greatly reduced now. Greatly reduced. The number of house shows they do now compared to what they did is much, much smaller. So I would say the demands on them have never been less than what they are right now. So I think it's a hard one to answer. I wouldn't do it for creative reasons because I don't think it would work. I would do it for wrestlers healing up and recovering and getting back to being 100%. But you don't necessarily need an off season for that. You could just give them, everyone could just get a different slot. That way wrestling continues and stays relatively fresh because you got people coming in and going all the time. So, you know, you could look at something along those lines. So, I don't know. There's pros and cons to it. Pros and cons. I would say no, personally. Mitchell said, Quake by the lake, chair by the stair, lie by the sky, sit in a pit, shop till you drop. What next? Also, Tripp's titles out of nowhere were what the... Hang on. Tripp's titles out of nowhere. I don't even... What does that mean? Tripp's title. I'm thinking Triple H when you say Tripp's. Tripp's titles. Oh! Got you now. Triple titles. I was thinking Triple H. That's what I was thinking. Mitchell, shout out to you. Meet Jake by the lake, playing Quake. Getting baked, says Larry. That's next Wednesday's Dynamite. Right, let's go. What I want to do is I want to go into my notes. And I want to get the winner's scroll at the bottom. So, AEW results. Moxley beats Roosh. And we got a Jericho promo. Quake by the lake. There we go. Bang, bang, bang. Now we've got Starks versus Danhausen. Very good, very evil. Triple H was in the NXT chat that I was in last night, says Larry. AJ Styles has no momentum on Raw. He should go to NXT and have some matches there. Larry said... Oh, we read that one. Anna said, with the trio belts and tournament coming up, the 700 wrestlers on the AEW books finally have something to do. Well, I mean, look, these trio titles have been expected, and it is believed that this is where Kenny Omega's going to come back. So, I mean, they could prove to be very, very significant, and rather than just being like little throwaway thing. So they will be coming. The finals will be all out for those trio titles. Belts. I've got the clip here. For those that aren't watching. That's those are the belts. Trios belts. And the announcement from Excalibur. And the final will be at All Out. Danhausen is pinned by Ricky Starks. So, there we go. Starks beats Danhausen. Okay, any screams? Think he got hurt a little bit there. Very nice, very evil. But not absolute. Very nice, very evil. But not absolute. I've still got a bit left in the tank. Bring out another challenger, please. So he wants someone else to come out. Hook is making his way out. Hook making his way out. So Hook is here. I'm guessing this won't happen this week. So, Stark's in the ring. Hooker's made his way down. In orange trunks. He is in orange shorts, yeah. It's on. We're doing this right now. Duke Nukem said it was obvious. So he's made his way down. He's getting into the ring. He goes over to the corner. He's getting in his position, getting ready to start the match. The bell has rung. The bell has sounded. They have rung the bell. The bell has rung. Is he just going to take the count out? No. Man, it's on. It's on. It's happening. It's happening. No way, man. I thought they were going to make us wait. Is he? I still think he's going to run. I still get the feeling that he's going to just do one. Lovely suplex there by Hook to Ricky Starks. Hook looks like a moody child who doesn't get his own way. Nice strike there by Ricky Starks. And again, I feel like there's going to be a new champ here. Against the ropes. Goes Hook. Hip toss, but he lands on his feet. That was great by Hook. Looking for a pump handle, but can't get it. Ricky Starks. Spear by Ricky. Monster spear. Ricky Starks with a big, big spear, and he's got Hook. He's got him up. Oh, look at this. Sleeper applied. Sleeper applied. He goes down. Hook in control. Oh, Ricky taps. Ricky taps, and Hook is the new FTW champion. His AEW record is 11-0. Hook wins. Hook wins. Hook wins. So, Hook wins FTW title. Legacy. Ricky got cursed by Danhausen. He was never going to win. So what if it was all predictable? It was awesome. Hook wins! Hook wins! It was a nice moment. Hook wins. I did just type FTW title and it's not... How did it? There we go. There we go. 36 minutes in. I mean, I like Hook winning the title. I like the Moxley promo. The rest of it I could probably leave, but yeah, a couple of moments in the first half hour. Lindsay said, I knew Hook was going to come out. Loved the fist bump. I loved it all, says Brent. Lance said, I loved Ricky Starks. Oh, you can still love him. If you loved him with the belt, you should love him without the belt as well. Just saying. Ricky is about to get a push, says Christian. Ethan said it's a good way to get the belt off Ricky so that he can do better things. James said they absolutely buried Danhausen, though. Coach Coat said cows are painted with zebra-like stripes can avoid being bitten by flies. Oh. What do you think about the trios titles? I think the look of the belts is all right. They're a bit average. I mean, I've only just briefly seen them, but they don't look. There's nothing that catches my eye and makes me go, "Wow, they're stunning" type things. But I do appreciate the detail that's on them. I mean, God, they're so much better than WWE belts. AEW belts are amongst some of the best titles. So as you can see, like some nice details there. It's got a globe in the middle. I don't know, man. I mean, it ticks the boxes, doesn't it? Lots of detail on the front plate. Globe in the center. Logo at the top. It's just like, do you know what I mean? It makes me think of like the Winged Eagle. It makes me think of the Hogan 86. It's actually very Hogan 86 because of how squashed the globe is. The globe's kind of like more oval in shape rather than it being like a proper globe. But I don't know. There's nothing. I look at them. They're fine. They're fine. I don't know that there's anything there that gets my juices flowing. But they are. I can't stress they're so much better than anything WWE would have done. Definitely better than anything WWE would have done. So I give them props for that. They feel prestigious. They look prestigious. So yeah, that's what I think about the actual belts. The titles, I expect them to be won by Kenny and the Young Bucks. But I think there's plenty of teams that can go for them. And actually, controversially, I'm probably more excited for trios matches than I am tag matches. I feel that trios matches feel a little bit more like a faction war to me. I think it's because you've got teams like, say, the New Day, the Bloodline, you've got the Shield. When I think of like great factions, like there's quite a few that have had 3 members, the Fabulous Freebirds. Like, I really like 3 people being in a team, and I like the trios idea. So I'm all on board. Ricky Starks is getting quite emotional here. I brought that title back to prominence. Yeah, Ricky Starks getting really emotional, really fired up. I never gave less than 100%. Feels like he's turning face, doesn't it? I don't want to hear that my time is about to come. My time was last month. My time was last year. My goddamn time is right now. Oh, Hobbs turns. Hobbs lays into Ricky Starks. Damn. Heavy shot there by Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs turns. Well, they're giving us some stuff this week, aren't they? Spinebuster. Hobbs attacks Ricky Starks. Hobbs looks great here, by the way. Ricky Starks look great. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. You sign me up for this. I like them as a team, but I just like them. So if you're not gonna put the tag belts on them, then split them up. Split them up and let them like show what they can do. Let them shine. This is great, says Corvid. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. It's amazing. Bring it to the floor. Yeah, man. Good. Good. It wasn't a bad time. It was a good time, says Jonathan. Double turn. We've got the Acclaim backstage talking about asses. This is not Starks' night, says Lisa. No, it's not, no. Hobbs, Swerve, and Lee as a trio. Damn, that would be good, Larry. That would be good. Hobbs, Swerve, and Lee. I really like that. I tell you what, giving us some stuff here. Here is Jazz. So it looks like it's Sammy and Ty time. Booze for Ty. She loves it. I think she just loves it. She lives for the booze. Spanish God Sammy Guevara with Ty Conti. So, Sammy Guevara. I actually don't know who Sammy's facing. Who are you facing, mate? We'll find out. Boo Tai is going to interfere. Acclaimed versus Gun Club. A dumpster match, question mark. Did they say a dumpster match? We've got Ty on the outside. Ty has gone from being a great wrestler to just parading around with Sammy, says Lance. Is this... So, Sky Blue is coming out with Dante Martin. So, Sky Blue coming down with Dante Martin. Are they, like, seeing each other as well? Are they? I don't know if they're a couple or not. Ty had a match at Triple Mania a little while ago. Do you think you will start doing AEW post shows? I don't know, to be honest. They're not a focus at the moment. I can't say they'll never be done, but still trying to like work through like getting those post shows like really where I want them, because they're good and the feedback's been fantastic and very, very welcome. Very welcome. So, yeah, I'm just constantly trying to find ways of improving them and, like, make little tweaks and changes before, like, adding more. So, I don't know. Dante is slowly becoming one of my faves in AEW, said Just Nick. They've been a couple for about a year. Oh, have they? Against the ropes goes Dante. Over the top goes Dante. Sammy going against the ropes. Well, that's good. If they've been together for about a year, I think putting them together makes a lot of sense. I think they make quite a good couple. Sammy charging over Dante, lying in the ring. Kip up there by Dante. Dante thrown between the ropes to the outside. Sammy underneath the bottom rope. Dante through the ropes. Dante going against the ropes. Top rope. Moonsaults back and lands on his feet. That was nice. I mean, it was smooth. I love Sammy, says Larry. Surely now that Triple H is in charge, that'll give some AEW tag teams hope that they could thrive, since Triple H was prominent in tag team wrestling. That'll give some AEW tag teams hope. What do you mean? Do you mean WWE tag teams? I mean, it'll give tag teams hope. Let's put it that way. Sammy was about to walk away. Dante launches himself at Sammy. Hurls himself off the entrance stage, comes crashing down onto Sammy, goes back to the ring. Sky Blue's very impressed with what she's just seen there. She was like, that was good. Dante gives her a little kiss and she... She didn't seem to appreciate it. But even so, I think we're at picture-in-picture. Dante looks like he could be Eric Andre's stunt double, says Adam. Jaden said, what do you think will happen at SummerSlam? I, for one, am too astounded that AJ's not on the card. He needs to get on that card. He should be on that card. He absolutely should be. I don't know if he'll get inserted into a match now with Seth, because it seems like Seth needs a new opponent. I'm not sure. There's a few ways that could go. Drop kick by Dante. There's like some AEW teams might feel they don't get on AEW TV. Yeah, and the problem is if they're under contract, it's going to be a nightmare for them to get out of that contract. So if they're signed to AEW, it's, do you know what I mean? I mean, yeah, it's all positive, but until their contracts are up, there's not going to be much they can do about it. And we were talking earlier about like Adam Cole, could he get out of his contract if he really wanted to? But I think the truth of the matter is Tony would be mental to let anyone out of their contract early, because you are sending a message then, aren't you? You are very clearly sending the message that, yeah, you can get out of this, you know, as and when you want. And then anyone that wants to jump ship will just be able to jump ship. So, but I mean, look, it's good. If you're in a tag team, it's nothing but good news. Definitely. Dante goes into the ring post and crashes onto the ring steps. Sky Blue always looks so nervous. She's on the outside and she was like, her man's been chucked into like the ring post. He's on the ring steps and she's like, are you all right over there? Are you all right? Dante on his hands and knees, kick to the side of the head. Sammy Guevara in control. Sammy, Martin, Sparks, and Hook with Danhausen as a faction, says Larry. Jaden said, what do you think will be the end result with MJF? He's not been seen or mentioned since his shoot work promo. Well, I think the end result is that he stays with AEW till 2024, and then genuinely, I think he's got a decision to make, because I think WWE would have him, and I think they'll offer a lot of money. And it's in their interest to do that, because even if they don't get him, they're just pushing up the price of how much Tony Khan's going to have to pay to keep him. So he will undeniably have options in 2024, but I can't see him going between now and then. Said before, anything that Tony Khan does, allowing people out of contracts early, is just going to send a real message to the rest of the locker room of, if you don't think you're getting enough TV time, or you think that the grass is greener, you know, there's a way out, and you just can't afford to send that message. So I expect him to be with AEW till 2024. Spanish Fly in the ring. 1, 2. Oh, shoulder just up by Dante Martin. Just up. Tony Khan definitely has stepped up the game this week with this week's Dynamite. I hope it continues, says Ethan. Nice to have a wrestling show with more than 1 hour of wrestling, says Esteban. Delmar said SummerSlam card looks unlikely there will be any title changes, but with the Street Profits split potentially scrapped now that Triple H is in creative, does he surprise us with a huge title change? No, I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I don't think there's a title there that you can change and that it would make sense. We've said Clash at the Castle, you need Roman as champion there. And you need, if you've got Roman as champ, like, I feel like you're going to have Usos as champ. I mean, you could put the belts onto Street Profits and then do a bit of a story of Usos have let Roman down. You could maybe tell that story, but I don't know. I think it just looks much better if the bloodline goes into Clash at the Castle strong. It doesn't make sense to switch the title from Bianca. You could change the title off Liv and put it on Ronda very easily. But I feel like Triple H is probably going to... I don't know, actually. I feel like he might want to just invest in Liv and see where it goes. But I think he's got a lot of appreciation for Ronda as well. I mean, obviously, he was a big part in her first match. And knows, like, how big of a star Ronda is. So, if there is to be a title change, I'd say that's probably the most likely place, Liv and Ronda. But I still feel like it's going to be Liv that leaves as champ. Dante on the outside. Dante, top rope, out the way, moonsaults. Sammy does the same. He manages to come down with a stunner. Here's Sammy, GTH, and that could be it. 1, 2, 3, and I think Sky Blue knew that was going to be it as well. So Sammy beats Dante. And Sammy even firing in some kicks on Dante. Why isn't Sky Blue getting in? Yeah. Sky Blue needs to intervene. She does need to do something. She could jump on her man and protect him, couldn't she? Finally. She jumps in. Ty getting in the face of Sky Blue. Here's Anna Jay. Anna Jay has come down. Anna Jay attacks Sky Blue from behind. Kick there by Ty. So they're kicking and beating down Sky Blue. Forearm strike. Here's Ruby Soho. Ruby Soho making her way down. Kingston coming down. JR says the fans come to their feet when they see Eddie, and it is true. The pop that he gets, Ortiz coming down as well. Okay, so Sammy beats Dante. Let's go, Sky Blue said big time Baxter. She runs funny, says Lance. She looked like a damn fool. Delmar said, I feel like Triple H is very in-ring focused with the women. I feel like Rhea, Shotzi, Shayna, Raquel will see more spotlight. Not sure that Liv is at that level. It's true. The only thing I would say is that she's got the belt and she's popular. I mean, as much as Triple H is going to want to look at Shayna, former women's champ, he's going to want to have a look at Raquel, former women's champ. You know, he's going to want to have a look at those women that you just mentioned. Liv has got the belt. Liv has got the belt, and she's got support. And it's hard to know what he's going to do. Triple H could absolutely keep the belt on her and just have a real good look and see, right, let's see what we can do with her. Let's see what she can do. Let's test her. She's got the belt. Let's test her. Let's push her. She wants this challenge. She's worked her whole life career for this. You're at the dance. Start dancing, right? Give me the matches I need. Give me the promos I need. You either do it or you don't. You either sink or you swim. I could see him taking that approach with Liv. Show me you're good enough, or I've got plenty of women who can have it. So, but look, listen, it's a great position to be in. I'd rather be in that position than sat in catering. The world's oldest wooden wheel has been around for more than 5,000 years, says Coach Co. Wow. 4 matches in the first hour. It's better than WWE until Triple H gets in gear, says Alexis. Anna said Dante looks legitimately hurt in that match. Both the landings looked like he hurt his legs both times. Doctors were looking at him as he was coming out of the ring. Hope is okay. Anna, shout out to you. Triple H will do whatever Vince whispers to him from the shadows. I like the idea of Triple H standing there with a headset on and he's like talking away, and he's like, "Yeah, let's put Liv over," and then all of a sudden there's like murmuring from the side. He's like, "Actually, I've changed my mind. Let's put Ronda over." And you've just got, like, Vince dressed as a plant pot in the corner. Vince is just disguised as, like, some kind of scaffolding. He's inside some, like, unit. Put Ronda over. Go with the big muscly men. Go with the big muscly men. He's like, I think, do you know what? Now that I'm head of creative, what I might do is I think I'm going to really push Tommaso Ciampa. No! Where did that come from? Big muscly men! Push the big muscly men! Yeah, that would be good. In my mind, I like the idea of Vince inside a plant pot, underneath a table, just constantly hiding, just constantly trying to influence Triple H's decisions. Very good. Vince is like, shh, you haven't seen me. Yes. Or maybe Vince turns up to WWE with a motorcycle, moustache, Triple H t-shirt on, shaves his head, grows a bit of a beard, yeah, jacks up, yeah, just walks around going, time to play the game. And he just tries to be Triple H. I'm like, are you Triple H? Goddamn, pal, yes. Time to play the game. Yeah, fun. I'm late again, but we're not going to speak about that. Hello, says Minty. Hello, Minty. How is AEW so far? Well, there's been plenty that's gone down in AEW town. I would say that for me personally, I would say that the matches... That last match was good. I wasn't feeling Roosh against Moxley, but that last match was good. But we've had moments. We've got a new FTW champ. We got Powerhouse Hobbs attacking Ricky Starks. We've had... I don't know. I'm just having a look at what we've got here. We've got Best Friends. Oh, they're so going after those trios belts. We had the new trio belts announced. Seeing Best Friends all in tie-dye with Orange Cassidy. 3-on-3 on Rampage. So, there we go. Mitchell said, I like the idea of Vince trying to get into the arena like Bobby Heenan trying to get into the arena and someone keeps recognizing him in the costumes. That was the first ever Raw, that was, when Bobby Heenan was doing that. Yeah, and you're right, it was fun, man. It was really fun. Mitchell, really appreciate the support as always, but I just feel like I'm just saying thank you to Mitchell for pretty much 3 hours all the time, but it really is appreciated, buds, and it's great to see so many people joining us as we now go into the second hour of Dynamite. Here is Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus making their way down. Jason, hello. Hope you're well, buds. Shout out to you. That was genuinely funny, says NH. Someone is losing it on commentary. Just rapid fire talking. Hello, Legend Killer. Hope you are well. Fred. Shout out to you, birds. Here we go. Right, Jungle Boy has made his way down with Luchasaurus. Let's see what they've got to say. Weeks and weeks of horrible, disparaging remarks. Yeah, time to respond. Give us your response. He looks pained, actually. He takes a moment, and I like that. Oh. Christian Cage, you are the biggest kitty cat I have ever seen in my entire life. Jungle Boy going off, man. Jungle Boy going off. Oh my god, there is a kitty cat chant. Unbelievable scenes. I've got a feeling Luchasaurus is going to turn on Jungle Boy. I hope not. Oh my god. He's with him. He's not with him. He's with him. He's not with him. Oh my god. If that happens, Jungle Boy will have such trust issues. He won't know who to trust. I didn't get it at first. What you were so angry about? Is it because I threw you out of a battle royal like a year ago? And you missed out on a bonus? Yeah. But for someone that's been wrestling as long as you have, that really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Well, it is. It is a big deal. You are strapped for cash because your wife had just divorced your ass. Guys, I can only apologize for the language that we are experiencing here. It is an absolute disgrace. I feel sick. I'm going to write a very angry letter. Yeah, it's... Christian needed someone to protect him. So he found himself a monster. But that monster is my best friend. It's beautiful. This is good. Possible huge break-in news from Johnny. He's doing a thing in Nashville on Sunday. And SummerSlam is in Nashville on Saturday, says Bryan. Yeah. I think there's a very good chance that Johnny Gargano is going to be at SummerSlam. I think there's a very, very good chance. If you're going to swing a chair and hit me in the head, then swing it as hard as you can. Three years ago. Oh, is he talking about his father? He's talking about digging his father's grave and... Here's Christian. Christian interrupting just at that moment. Something I want to say about Luchasaurus being your best friend. So he's trying to win Luchasaurus over again. Can you picture Rebel Heart hitting the stadium? The pop would be louder than what people imagined his AEW debut would be. It'd be great. I was scared of what I would do to you if I stayed, says Christian. The next thing I drape over you is going to be a body bag. You can kick up some dirt and cozy on right beside him. God, they're still really going at it, aren't they? I mean, there's no holding back here from either side. Now I'm going to prey on your weakness. Okay, but there we go. End of the segment. Did people hear me cursing them randomly because they were driving horrifically? Hello, William. Here's Young Bucks. Trios champions. Here's Hangman. They bump into Hangman. So they're just kind of being a bit awkward. So we got the Young Bucks backstage. They've just found out about the Trios titles. And now they bump into Hangman, but Dark Order find him. Christian sounding like a Thug Studio gangster tonight. Okay. Right, that was the end of that backstage bit. Now we're moving on. Now we've got... Is this Tony Nese? Is this going to be the handicap match? Wrestler Andy said, what's the worst trio you could book in wrestling history to win the trios titles? Don't know, man. Just chuck 3 celebrities together. That would kill me. Nese and Sterling. Nese and Sterling. Who is it there? Who is that they're facing? Nese and Sterling. AEW. Swerve. Yeah, completely forgot it was Swerve. Completely forgot. I was just jumping onto the AEW. Let's move that horizontally. I was just jumping onto the AEW thing to have a look, see who it was. I just really didn't remember. Okay, Swerve making his way down. We got 50 minutes left in the show. 50 minutes left. Will the last member of Dark Order please turn the lights off when they leave? Big Time Back said Tony Khan must be sleeping on Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox. Bet that's uncomfortable. Irish Rebel said, I will help you. We will get them all. Brenton said, we need Luchasaurus to stay heel, or else you just cut Christian's heel run off the knees. Thoughts? I wasn't a fan of Luchasaurus turning back. It was funny because I was singing the praise. I was like, I really like these two together, like Luchasaurus with the guidance of Christian, and like Jungle Boy now completely lost. I mean, not only has he been turned on by Christian, this legend, this mentor, but he's gone and stole his best friend, and you know, the kind of pit of depression that would have put Jungle Boy into, the momentum that would have given like Luchasaurus, and yeah, I liked it. And then they, you know, do another swerve. So I wasn't a fan of that, him going back with Jungle Boy, but we're here now. We're here now. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not the biggest problem in the world. It's just not the direction I personally would have gone. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I mean, undeniably, it's one of the best parts of the show. Every single week, Christian is killing it. And now we've got Jungle Boy coming back and firing out great lines of his own. So, yeah, it's all good. It's all positive. Let's see where it goes. Right, Tony Nese and Swerve battling away. The Bucks teasing Hangman potentially being their partner in the Trios tournament rather than Kenny. Christian said, is it me? I'm excited for All Out and the Trios belts. Yeah, it'll be good. I said earlier, I think I'm probably more into Trios titles than I am even tag titles, to be honest. Although, who doesn't love FTR? You know? FTR are killing it. But there's so many great trios. There's a lot of potential, I think, with trios titles. So, yeah, I'm into it. Do you think Triple H gives Dakota a call to come back, or does Tony swoop and debut her as a Joker? She can't be a free agent for long. I listen, Triple H might make that phone call. He might make that phone call, but she's not a massive star. And I don't know if he does make that phone call, to be honest. I don't know if he does. She is someone that can do a job, and she is fine. She's good, but she doesn't strike me as essential. I don't look at Dakota and see someone in her the way she was being booked. I don't see her as being a Sasha, a Bianca, that level. I think that if you had a mid-card title, she could absolutely be around a mid-card title. If you need someone to go in a tag team, she could absolutely do that. She's a good hand. She'll always give you a decent match. I don't know. I can't see there being this mad scramble for her, to be honest. I think if she goes to AEW, she goes to AEW. That's my feeling on it. I think he's got so much to focus on and look at. I mean, before even bringing anyone in, he probably needs to know what the budget looks like, what it is they're playing with. Has he even got money to bring people in with? I mean, I would think so. I would think getting Dakota back would be no problem. Potentially bringing Bray back would be no problem, but don't know. They did release a lot of people, and they have definitely cut back on that expenditure. And we keep saying it, but Nick Khan is now co-CEO. So as much as Triple H wants to do all these things, he has still got to get it past Nick Khan now. Nick Khan is co-CEO. So yeah, I think this is an interesting point, something to chew over. For me personally, it wouldn't be high on my priority list. I wouldn't be like racing to sort that deal and get that deal, over the line. I've said before, though, I like her name, King Kota, and I like, there's definitely things that I think she could do that would be different to how she was, that I think would be really interesting. If she focused more on her kicks and was like a bit of a leader of a faction, and I definitely think there's stuff that you could do with her. Crowd a bit quiet here. I don't know, for a break or something. Looking at the state of the women's division, it could use more names. Most of the NXT girls are green. Oh, do you mean to bring her back to NXT? I thought you meant for the main roster. I mean, yeah, you could absolutely bring her back to NXT. In my mind, though, she would probably only come back to go to the main roster. Although saying that, a job's a job, innit? But I thought you meant main roster. That's what I was saying. In my mind, like, is she good enough to hang with a Becky, a Charlotte, a Bianca? I mean, it'll take time to get there, but I don't know. I just wasn't blown away by her run in NXT. Nice strike there by Swerve. Swerve has got Tony Nese in the corner, charges over, hurls himself at Tony Nese. Elbow to the back of the head. What do you think of Hook after winning the FTW title? Good. I like Hook. I think everyone likes Hook. So excited to see how that plays out. First trio champs, Swerve, Lee, and Hobbs, says Larry. What do you think happens to Sasha? I think she goes to WWE. I think she'll return. I think WWE is a bigger company. I think that thanks to WWE, it got her opportunities with Star Wars. She could absolutely still get opportunities by going to AEW, but I think it's undeniable that WWE have got a bigger reach and are in a better position right now, and a bigger global audience. So I think for Sasha and her exposure and her brand, it is better that she goes back to WWE. Sasha, Steph being in charge, co-CEO, is a positive, and Triple H doing the head of creative, I think means that it's probably looking quite good. She goes that way now. Josh Woods has laid out Keith Lee out back. Swerve has won this match, though. Swerve beats Nese and Sterling. Josh Woods was backstage, and he has attacked Keith Lee. They should bring back Dakota and Tegan, put them in a tag division. They should bring back Sarah Logan and put her with Liv. There's 2 instant teams for the women's titles, says Bryan. Wrestling Wriggle says, send Hook. Glad to see the FTW Championship on Hook. Brett said, I really like Hook, but getting his dad's title didn't work well for Vern Gagne's skinny son, who was a hell of a hand too. But hope Ricky Starks jumps over to WWE, says D. What are trio teams that you want to see win those titles? Blackpool Combat Club, absolutely. Undisputed Era, Undisputed Elite, House of Black, FTR, and Punk. Very unlikely if they team together. No, I mean, Punk said that he would love to wrestle with them on a regular basis, so I could see them having a run. FTR and Punk makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. And you could do it, absolutely. And as you said, you know, Undisputed Elite looks like they're... I mean, Young Bucks and Kenny are being teased. You've got Best Friends that are around as well. They're just showing some footage from San Diego Comic-Con. And they're just showing Darby Allin getting attacked multiple places. I didn't realise they did a little thing at San Diego Comic-Con as well. Darby Allin getting beaten up by House of Black. House of Black only need one more member, and then they can go after him as well. I mean, I don't think Julia Hart's going to be able to cut the mustard. In fact, didn't they have Buddy Matthews? Is Buddy Matthews with him? Now I've said that. Is he with them? Have I made that up? He was with them. So they could go after him as well, House of Black. With the trio bouts have old trio rules of wrestling. They haven't announced anything like that. I don't know. Honestly don't know. I don't know what they're going to look to do with them. We'll find out as soon as like this tournament starts. House of Black as trio champs could happen, yeah. I mean, the ones that would excite me the most would be Blackpool Combat Club, and Undisputed Elite would be very exciting. I mean, Young Bucks and Omega would be very exciting. This is what I'm saying. I think there's loads you can do with them. I think it's great. They've been rumored to be coming for a long time, so you know, it's not we're not reinventing the wheel here. It's not anything that we weren't already aware was on the way, but it's great. I like it. Right, we've gone to commercial break. You can put in your scores if you want. We've only got 39 minutes or so to go, but if you want to put in your scores of what you think of the show so far, then do it. Do it. Buddy is too busy with Rhea Ripley, says Bryan. Makes sense. Buddy Matthews is injured, says James Banner. Thank you. What are your thoughts on Trent Seven's heel turn? Good. I like it. I mean, I like Mustache Mountain, but Trent Seven deserves something that's going to get him near the top of a card. He's never quite done it whilst being a face, and turning heel, stabbing Tyler Bate in the back. You see, Trent Seven is slightly older. I mean, he's not old, but he's certainly getting on in age compared to other people on that roster. And it sort of feels like time is maybe running out for him to at least get, say, the NXT UK title, or, you know, really make a push, make a move. I think it just feels like he's been spinning his wheels. I mean, honestly, if you think that United Kingdom tournament to crown the first ever champ was over 5 years ago now. over 5 years ago. I mean, that is incredible. That is incredible. I mean, that is the Attitude Era. Been and gone. 5-year period. You know? I mean, if you go, say, 97 to 2002, that's the Attitude Era. Well, it was 2017 when we did that tournament to crown the United Kingdom champion. And now here we are in 2022. And as I said, you know, he still finds himself in NXT UK. He's still spinning his wheels. Never held that NXT UK championship. I think he has competed a few times for it, but realistically never got to the point of winning it. So, yeah, let's try it. Why not? Turn him heel. Give it a go. See what it does. I wish him all the best. Wrestling Wriggle said, do you think there's a possibility of AEW, WWE working together for a pay-per-view? No. I don't. Even though Vince has gone now, I just don't see the benefit of it to WWE. Massive benefit for AEW. Big benefit for AEW. And something that a lot of fans would like to see as well, but no benefit to WWE. WWE are the market leaders in wrestling. They will not get any more viewers. They will not get anything. They just won't get anything. They won't be a bigger company as a result of doing that show. And all they will be doing is they will be using their giant global machine, which is huge. And, you know, they've got like, what is it? I don't even know how many subscribers on YouTube they've got now, but it was like 70 million. It might be like 80 million or something now. You know, they are one of the biggest social media powerhouses. They would be using all of that basically to put AEW over. I mean, you just in the business world, it just makes no sense, 0 sense for them to get into that deal. So I think it doesn't matter if it's Vince in charge or if it's Triple H in charge or whoever's in charge. It's not going to happen. Right, we've got. I didn't hear they pronounce the name. We got Thunder Rosa taking on Yamashita. Okay, Thunder Rosa making her way down. 19 weeks now as AEW Women's Champion. WWE, WCW Forbidden Door would have worked, but AEW is too small, says Jonathan. Brent said, I really like Thunder Rosa, but after seeing her as champion, Britt Baker made a better one. Ledger Killer says Thunder Rosa. BDB said Thunder Rosa looks like Mickey James for a minute. Brenton said, what's your thoughts on Mark Sterling? I don't like his gimmick. I don't get any enjoyment out of him being on this show. Same with Mark Sterling as well. I get no enjoyment out of watching him. I mean, even heels should be entertaining. Even heels, you should get. They should make you feel angry. Just make me not want to watch the show. Some of the those kind of characters. So yeah, I'm not a fan of it at all. I don't even know. I mean, maybe there's people that like him. I really don't know. I never see him getting like great responses or anything. Just a one count. Oh, got a bit of lag. Little bit of lag. Let's have a little look. Right, we are underway with this Thunder Rosa match, and she goes down. She goes to slap her opponent. Charging over. Thunder Rosa moves out the way. Roll by Thunder Rosa. She charges over. Gets put on the outside. Against the ropes. Knee strikes. These knees look awful from Thunder Rosa. Those knees then look like from a flipping practice. She's slipping on the edge of the ring. This is a nightmare. Oh my god, this is a nightmare. What the hell are they doing? This is horrific match. Slipping on the outside of the ring, losing their balance, strikes looking really weak. Everything looks like it's in flipping slow motion. It's a horrible match. Chop coming in by Thunder. And again, she's starting to lay some stuff in now, which is good. On the outside, into the edge of the ring. Kick off the ring. This is bad, but the match in Japan was good, says Jeremy. I heard a lot of people saying that was good. For whatever reason, this one just feels completely off. But let's see, there's a couple of bits in there. Crowd are dead for this as well. There's no noise. Kick out by Thunder Rosa. There's people in the fight chat saying, are we at picture in picture? Because it does kind of feel like the pace of it is picture in picture. Maybe we are. 1, 2. Kick out. It was an amazing match in Japan, said Doppelganger. Midsection, Thunder goes down. She sits up. Oh my god, what are we doing? Oh my god, I'm embarrassed. Oh my god. Thunder, no word of a lie. Thunder Rosa sat up, right? This Yamashita was like going to throw, didn't, and literally you could see Thunder Rosa like saying like something like, "Are you gonna do something?" Because she was just sat there. She was just sat there as this like Yamashita woman was like, didn't know what to do. Have they been spiked? Has Thunder Rosa and this Japanese woman been abducted? And we've got like a couple of lookalikes out there. Big boot. Slap by Thunder. Thunder goes down. Listen, even the stream can't flip and cope with this. Double knees by Thunder Rosa. I think we've just come back from a commercial break, but this match is one of the worst matches I've seen this year. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, why would I? I love Thunder Rosa. But there's been big moments in this match where they have got completely lost. Completely lost. Shoulder coming up. How is she looking? Good or bad? Bad. This match is very bad. Thunder Rosa going up top. Crowd are dead, man. High kick. Thunder Rosa comes crashing down. Forearm strike. Another forearm coming back. These two trade in shots back and forth in the middle. The Japan match was the same, says Jonathan. Listen, I never saw that Japan match, but people had such incredible praise for it, but it can't have had moments like we've seen here. It can't have had moments like we've seen here. I've seen stuff in this match that I've never seen. And I don't mean in a good way. I mean, in a way where they just get completely lost. Moves are being botched. There's a couple of moments where she's slipping, she's falling off the edge of the ring. That bit in the middle where Thunder Rosa is sat there waiting to be kicked, and this girl just is not like. She seems to be glitching. She seemed to glitch. She didn't know whether to throw or not, and like she didn't seem to know what to do. And like you could see Thunder Rosa talking to her. JR said these women are having trouble getting momentum. It's a lovely roundhouse kick, though. 2. Shoulder up. A 7-star classic. She lagged. Wait, we lagged. The flipping stream couldn't cope with this match. Thunder Rosa in the middle, on the shoulders. She hasn't quite got her still. She's having to try and reposition her. Thunder reverses it. 1, 2. Thunder Rosa down on her knees. Thunder Rosa she put a mouthpiece in. Kick to the head. Another kick as well. Knee strike by Thunder Rosa. Another knee strike by Thunder Rosa. Kick coming in. High kick by Thunder Rosa. Thunder drives her down. 1, 2, 3. Done. Crossroads. Shout out to you, buds. Thank God. Thunder Rosa wins. Crowd is quiet. It's like watching a train wreck. Mercifully, it's over. I told you Miyu was going to steal the show. So far, they have. Miyu deserves more of the spotlight. What are we talking about? Are we talking about that woman? That's one of the worst matches I've seen this year. I mean, she stole this show, all right. This match stole this show. That is, without doubt, one of the worst matches I've seen this year. I think once those 2 moments have happened, where she's losing her footing on the outside of the ring, and she can't get her balance, and it's all just looking super, super awkward. Like, that's not great. But that moment where she's sat there, she's literally sat there in the middle of the ring, waiting to be kicked. She's literally just sat waiting. And if you haven't seen it, you might think it's just like a few seconds. This thing feels like it goes on for like 10, 15 seconds where she is sat there just waiting to be kicked. And the other girl, I don't know her name, absolutely shitter, I think is her name, is like just glitching and just isn't throwing. I don't know what the problem was. I 100% believe people when they say that they had a great match in Japan. I believe you. There's so many people that say it. I believe you. That was not it. Let's not kid ourselves. That was not it. Danny said, I can't believe it's been 25 months. Danny, shout out to you, buds. Appreciate the support. Many congratulations. 25 months of happy memories, eh? Right. Bryan Danielson coming up next. Bryan Danielson in the main event. Taking on... Who's he facing? I never know. I normally have it all written down, but to be honest, I saw that tweet, so I was like, oh, I'll just read it from the tweet. But now I don't have the tweet. He is taking on Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia. Right, how long have we got? We've got 20 minutes to go. I think the commercials that were inside that match as well really didn't help. Crowd couldn't get into it. It was very, very quiet. Very quiet. But again, what you meant to do, the pace was like really slow as well because we were at commercial break, like I think a couple of times actually. Right. We have... did we have the Jungle Boy promo? So, Jungle Boy promo. And we had Thunder Beats. Thunder Beats. What was her name again? Oh, shit. Boom. Done and done. AEW fan says, what if Theory calls in a favor to Gargano to help with the bloodline? Could be interesting. Could be very interesting to have those two side by side. I don't know if they'll want to tell that story on the main roster. I mean, those kind of stories don't really tend to translate. But again, that was under the Vince regime, and we don't live in the Vince regime anymore. So, yeah. Brenton said, it's looking more like Omega's plaything again. Omega threw a Twitter tantrum after criticism of Yama came, basically called critics pathetic. Well, I mean, look, he has to, if he is playing, if he is going to be booking and having an influence, if he's involved and it doesn't go well, he's going to stand up for himself. I can't blame him for that. Can't blame him for that. I mean, he is only doing what he thinks is the right thing to do. He clearly wants the best for AEW, and he wants, to showcase this great talent. But, if it's sometimes if it doesn't go the way that you were hoping, then you might have to just take it on the chin. But I can understand him like wanting to defend himself. I would want to do the same. Right, Jericho Appreciation Society. You can own mistakes, says Big Man Dilbert. Yep. I mean, look, the other thing as well is that mistakes will happen. That doesn't put me off that wrestler, that whatever her name is, Yamashita or whatever, however you pronounce it. Let's call her Yama, right? It doesn't put me off Yama. And as I said, I completely agree and believe that she was fantastic when they competed in Japan. But tonight just was not it. Tonight was not a good performance. Tonight that was not a good match. That's it. That's it. But I would be down for seeing her compete again. I mean, you never know if it could be nerves. You never know if they've not got they could have like a bit of an illness. She might have she could have a stomach bug. Her head could be spinning. I mean, Kenny Omega apparently was wrestling with vertigo. So you never quite know, when did she come into the country? Has she got a bit of jet lag? I mean, I would imagine nerves would be a factor. I mean, what a stage. Not only are you competing in front of an arena, which I doubt she's competed in front of a crowd of this size, but, not only that, you're being seen all over the world. So, don't know. There's a lot of factors that could result in performances being a bit off. Bryan Danielson has made his way down and firing in kicks. Into the corner goes Garcia. Danielson charging over. Drop kick right to the face. Danielson really laying it in. This is an vengeful Bryan Danielson. A Bryan Danielson who is definitely going to feel like he has been missing out. Wants to remind everyone what he can do. He's in the main event as well. Vicious suicide dive there by Bryan Danielson. Go find the match from Japan. It's basically a 2-star match, says Jonathan. Wrestling Wriggle said, not a good match, but hopefully this one will rock. Welcome back is the chant for Danielson. Into the ring post goes Garcia. Garcia goes down. Danielson with Garcia puts him inside the ring. Elbows coming in as Danielson is on top. Is fully mounted here. And Garcia is throwing in some slaps, and Danielson's not slapping, his forearm striking away. Jericho on commentary. Jericho said this crowd is on fire. They're happy to see Danielson back. I'm not. He should have stayed away. Garcia with an elbow to back of the head as Danielson goes down to one knee. Williams said, so many head drops and mistimed moves chained together and fast-paced to try and hide the angles of descent and improper center of proportionate weight balance. Jesus, you sound like a scientist. Why wasn't Moxley title defense the main event tonight? Well, maybe they looked at it. I mean, I don't think anyone was really expecting Moxley to lose that title. So perhaps they looked at it and thought to themselves that Danielson was going to be, like his return was going to be a bigger moment than Moxley defending the title in a match that realistically he was never going to lose. So perhaps Tony just feels that this is the bigger match. Which, I mean, maybe, I don't know if that sends the right message. Maybe that's not the right way of booking it, but I think people definitely would want to have seen Bryan Danielson coming back. So you could have done it the other way around. You could have had Danielson open the show, Moxley defend the title in the main event. But I think Moxley would have needed a better opponent and it would have needed a better build. We've got a lot of gimmick and theme shows with AEW lately, and now we've got Quake by the Lake in 2 weeks' time. Ratings going down 4 straight weeks lately. Is this panic mode? I don't think it's panic mode. I don't think it's panic mode because I think that their ratings have been in decline, but they have been missing some big names. And, now that we've got Danielson coming back, it'll be interesting to see what the ratings do this week. And, they've announced the trios titles. They've done a few interesting things with the storylines. Obviously, most notably, maybe Starks and Hobbs splitting up. Oh, what's happened now? Danielson has gone down and he seems to be out. Referee's not giving a cross, though. I don't understand this. I don't understand. He did a drop kick, and now he's just landed down, and now we're seeing Garcia smashing away on Danielson. Danielson in the corner, chop coming in. I think that was a botch. I feel like that was a botch because it was just so out of place. I think the ref has checked on Danielson and said, "Are you all right?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Danielson's gone down again here. Ref again has come over just to have a word with Danielson. Danielson's rolling out the ring. Danielson has rolled out the ring. Garcia hurls him into the ring steps. It's hard to know, man. It's really hard to know as to whether this is like part of the match or not. But it's so strange. It's so out of place. He had all the momentum. Yeah, it's got to be part of it. I mean, he's just DDT'd him onto a concrete floor. So what a weird spot to include in a match. DDT's Danielson on the concrete. If that was a real injury or if there was any concern, obviously that spot wouldn't have gone ahead. How is Danielson looking? He was looking good, and then he came off the top, hit his head, and like all the momentum has stopped. And but the ref, hasn't called for a medic. And we've just seen Danielson get dropped on his head on a concrete floor, so I'm guessing things are okay. There's a bit of blood. It's a strange angle, given that Danielson has significant concussion issues. Minty said, I miss when Dynamite didn't have crazy names. Just give me normal Dynamites. Yeah, they are. I mean, Fighter Fests and all that kind of stuff. Quake at the Lake and everything. You know, they've been doing that for a while. The problem you've got is that unless you have like normal, I think this is another one as well, isn't it? Unless you have like a few normal Dynamites, these aren't gonna feel special, are they? If every week you've got Fight for the Fallen, Fighter Fest, Quake by the Lake, you know, these kind of shows, and you never just have a normal Dynamite, then these special shows don't become special. They become shows. Isn't Nathan Jones still an Aussie rep for WWE? I don't know, to be honest. Honestly, don't know if he's employed or not. Are you more confident of Bron Breakker's call-up booking now without Vince? Probably about the same, to be honest. I mean, Vince, I think, will have liked him. He's a big guy. Vince likes big guys. I think Vince definitely will have seen money in him, potential in him. I think Triple H will see the exact same thing. I think Triple H will see money and will see potential. I don't know if the time frame will have changed. I'm not saying Bron Breakker comes up earlier now. If anything, he might even come up later. Triple H might... You see, the thing is that Triple H might see more potential in the people that are on that main roster than what Vince did. I think Vince could have looked at some of those smaller guys and thought, no, I'll never get them in the main event, or that'll never work. Whereas Triple H won't think that. Triple H will look at a Finn Balor, and he'll look at a Tommaso Ciampa, he'll look at a Johnny Gargano, and he'll see potential. He'll look at a Sami Zayn, and he'll see potential. Whereas I don't think Vince would have. So actually, if anything, Braun being needed and being brought up might have just got delayed. Because I think Triple H will find more potential and opportunity in the people that are on the main roster, which means he doesn't need Bron Breakker. But by and large, it's probably going to be about the same. Big strike by Danielson. Brenton said, the thing is, though, the Fighter Fest, Fight for the Fallen were originally pay-per-views. I don't think people would buy more of those shows for the usual $50 or $60. Thomas, shout out to you, my friends. Jilly said, Tony needs to do less booking and rely on guys like William Regal. What Tony Khan's been giving us isn't always good. In all fairness, though, what would be? What booker can constantly give you stuff that's always good? So I wouldn't criticize Tony for that. He's too spread out between Dynamite, Rampage, now Ring of Honor. But I do agree that, a little bit of help. Absolutely. Absolutely, I do agree. Do you think that Shane will take on some of what Triple H's job was? Or do you think that Steph and someone else will take on more responsibilities? Well, I mean, what was his job? His job was talent liaison officer. Like, he is their kind of go-to person. Apparently, he's still doing that role. So not only is he doing, like, head of creative and overseeing that, but he is also the go-to for if talents have got problems. It's a lot on his plate. An awful lot on his plate. I mean, his old job down in NXT, that seems to be took over by Sean now. His next in line job, I don't know. I mean, that's a job that doesn't really need to continue. I mean, that was basically Vince just wanting big guys to be brought in, and so they were looking for athletes that never quite made the grade in American football or basketball or loads of different sports. Like, basically, this cheerleader who, quite fancies giving wrestling a go. Well, let's have a look at her. This basketball star that hasn't made the NBA. Well, let's have a look at them. This football player that was amazing in college and university but hasn't made the NHL or NFL or whatever. Let's have a look at them. You know, all these kind of people are coming in. That's what Next in Line was. To be honest, that's a program that can just die or easily passed off to, I don't know, Fit Finley or someone. That won't be hard to replace. Bryan Danielson up top. And nice belly to back suplex from the top. Belly to back suplex. Australia gets SummerSlam on both WWE Network and Fox 8. Sunday, 31st of July. Very nice. Tony Khan has got a high-level role at Fulham. And transfer window is on here. Fulham are back in the Premier League. So understandable that AEW isn't at the best right now, says Matt. That's an excellent point. He has got an awful lot on his plate. An awful lot. I mean, being the booker of this show is full-time. Dealing with AEW is full-time. How the hell are you meant to do this and Fulham? I mean, I should imagine he just doesn't get any sleep whatsoever. Chop coming in there by Garcia. Another chop coming back. Nice kick. Chop by Danielson. Lots of kicks and chops. Another kick coming in by Danielson. Taz said, what we're seeing here is a lot of years of Muay Thai kickbox training. Danielson on his feet and coming back into the match. Sign in the crowd says American Dragon. He does sink down to his knees for a moment. Taz said, I don't want to be a broken record, but this guy is not 100%. Could we see a worked shoot angle with Seth? With who? Seth and who? People are assuming Vince is gone, but I did mention in one of your recent videos, it's strange that barely any superstars said anything. Perhaps some know he's coming back. I don't think it's that, to be honest. I actually think it's the same with the fans. I mean, look at the fans. How many tributes have you been seeing? I mean, I haven't done a tribute video to Vince. WWE hasn't done a tribute video to Vince. But the truth of the matter is, we don't know what's coming. It could be like the Chris Benoit situation. You could have loads of praise for Vince and jump online and say how amazing he's been. And then the very next day, a horrific story drops. And then, you know, you're going to regret sending that message, aren't you? So I sort of feel that because of the circumstances, you just can't really, you can't afford to really say anything. You can't really do anything. Everyone's kind of shocked. No one really knows what's happening. Everyone's concerned about what's coming or what's actually happened. I mean, it has been found that 14.6 million was not declared. So 14.6 million did go missing from WWE. Was not, you know, didn't go through the proper channels and everything. And apparently he's now either paid some of it back or he's paying it all back. Kick out by Danielson. So I don't know that it's so much that, oh, everyone knows he's coming back, that's why no one said anything. I'm reading it more like the same way I'm dealing with it, which is I would love to sit here and talk about the great things that Vince has done and do a video about it and praise and all this, but truth of the matter is we just don't know what's coming. Just haven't got a clue what's coming. Don't know what the truth is. This could open the floodgates, couldn't it? I mean, we've already seen the Rita Chatterley stuff coming back up, and I know there's others. The first female ring announcer as well had allegations against Vince. Roll to the outsides. Danielson, we're into the final moments. Vince could be the plant in the corner of Gorilla. He might have to be. Knee to the outside from the edge of the ring. Someone is grabbing the leg of Danielson. Someone is under the ring. So someone was under the ring. They grabbed Danielson's leg. Pile driver. Pile driver. And sharpshooter. Sharpshooter applied. Oh, man, it's middle of the ring, man. Jericho said he's going to tap, he's going to tap, he's going to tap. Danielson teasing that he's going to tap, but he passes out. And Daniel Garcia wins. Garcia beats Bryan Danielson. Who was it that was under the ring, though? Oh, there we go. It was Jake. After all that, it was Jake Hager. Jake Hager was under the ring. Jericho's coming down, celebrating. Good for Danielson on doing the job for Garcia. That's huge respect. Who was under the ring? It was Jake Hager. Danielson's singles record in AEW is terrible. There we go, Hager laughing away. Put in your full-time scores. Put in your full-time scores. That is going to be the end of this week's AEW. Garcia beats Danielson. Garcia beats Danielson. Didn't expect to be right in that. Keaton says 6. William says 3.725. Very specific. Garcia looks like a baby Randy Orton. Pablo says 10 out of 10. Lone Star says 6. Daniel says 5.5. Larry said, I'm going to stay with my halftime score of 7.85. Corvid said that's Garcia's biggest win of his career so far. The Rosa match loses some points, says David, so 8 out of 10. Brenton said, I wonder if Tony Khan hires Delirious to book Ring of Honor. Given Delirious's background and relationship with Ring of Honor, would take stuff off Tony's plates. Would take stuff off Tony's plate. The only thing is, I don't know if Tony's looking to take stuff off of his own plate. This is the problem. He needs stuff taken off of his plate. But I don't know that stuff will be taken off his plate. Garcia looks exactly like Orton, says Brent. Keep your scores coming in. Look, we've got 6s and 5s and 6.5, 7.25. Garcia should have won that match, says Heather. Jeremy said last 2 matches ruined an 8, so I give it a 6. Mitchell said first half was an 8, second half was a 4. I give it a 6. 6.5, 7.25. Get your thoughts in. You might be watching going, what? This show was 9, man. Or you might be watching going, what? This show was a 1. Jaden says 6.75. Did he pass out from a sharpshooter? He did, yes. Daniel came to AEW to get buried by Daniel Garcia, says good. Jimmy said 7. Jeremy said 5. Jim said, where's the poll? Where is the poll? Where? I don't know. To be honest, I think what I might start trying to do is I might introduce the scoring system. That's a good idea, actually. I might introduce the scoring system that we use for Raw and SmackDown because I really like it. So I might introduce that, but it's not set up, so we won't have it this week. But next week, I think we'll introduce it, and that will give us a much more accurate read. So we can set that up for next week. Thunder Rosa match was the worst women's match I've ever seen, says AEW fan. Heather said, I missed the show. I was moving my mother-in-law into a hotel. Long story. Some good stuff. Some bad stuff. I feel like this for me is about 6. Maybe that's a little low. Maybe that's a little low. I don't know, though. I mean, there's no matches that really blew my mind. There's no matches that I really was getting lost in. Maybe a 6.5. I'm definitely around that. 6 to 6.5. I'm definitely around that. For me personally, I think there was some good stuff, and that's why it's not a disaster. But I do agree that women's match was not... that was not it. That was not it. And I think, like Swerve against Nese and Sterling didn't do it for me either. And I just think some of the in-ring was not quite... The first match as well, Roosh against Moxley, I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. But there was some great stuff as well. The promos with Christian and Jungle Boy were great. Obviously, the Hook winning the FTW belt, I really don't mind that. I really thought Starks was going to say next week kind of a thing, and he doesn't. So I really don't mind the fact that we got the match and Hook wins. And then, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs turns, and Starks seemed to have a face turn as well. So face turn for Starks, love it. Powerhouse Hobbs turns on him then, or attacks him, love it. Jungle Boy and Christian, yes. Good chunk of the Bryan Danielson match was really strong. I still think, though, that, him hitting his head, although saying that, him hitting his head does kind of add towards the finish. He loses that match, and you can say that he lost it not just because the hand grabbed his leg, which is stupid, but, the fact that he'd knocked himself silly as well during the match. So maybe that plays into the finish as well. Because clearly when he's getting put in that sharpshooter, he is not 100%. And I thought commentary did a good job of getting that across. It's not 100%. It's not 100%. We also had the announcement of the trio titles. We've had a good conversation about them. We've spoke about some of the teams that we could see. So I'm into that as well. So, I mean, look, there's lots to take away that's positive. As I said, some good, some bad. For me, as a result, this falls in the middle. And the middle for me is 6 to 6.5. So I feel good with that. UFC starts an hour before SummerSlam kickoff on Saturday. Australia, we read that one. Are you doing Ric Flair's thing on Sunday? Torn on it. I haven't had many people asking for it. So I'm torn. I'm going to probably see if people are interested. I remember when the first allegations came out, we thought it was a surprise. Vince has done stuff crazy on TV. Did we expect it to lead to this mess? 100% no. I remember saying, I thought that people were kind of getting a bit carried away because we knew that Vince had done stuff in the past or had been accused of stuff. And, that first allegation just didn't feel that significant to me. He'd had an affair, he'd paid money. If it was money that he had paid, if it was money that he had come out of his account, then, which I thought it would have, I didn't think he'd make any silly mistake like that. Then I thought, well, this will get cleaned up. It'll turn out that the money was paid from him personally. All right, he's had an affair, but if him and Linda aren't together anymore, whatever. All right, it's unprofessional, and it is unprofessional. He's had, relations with someone at work. You shouldn't do it. Slap on the wrist. Is he going to lose his job? No. But I think that second wave of allegations that comes out, I think that sinks him. And obviously we didn't know about them at the time, so. But now that's what makes you sit here and go, what else is there to come? What else is out there? And that's the concern. And that's why I think loads of people aren't jumping out, sending their love to him and wishing him all the best and everything, because people just don't know. Right, we're going to wrap it up there, guys. Really, really appreciate the support. Thank you so much for stopping by. As I said, really appreciate it. Another AEW show in the bag. We'll see what they bring next week for us, shall we? We are obviously back tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. We're back on Friday for SmackDown. Then we're doing UFC on this channel on Saturday. SummerSlam will be over on the Wrestling Escape Pod channel. So big weekend this weekend. And potentially Ric Flair. Potentially we'll do that. But we'll have to see. We'll see what the demand's like. Awesome, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.